Welcome back, everyone, to the conclusion of this nameless mystery, because that might give things away. When we last left our heroes, the two of you, I won't say struggled, you rushed down the stairs to, save is also the wrong word, to get this person outside as quickly as possible. This person
Save
that's
is definitely the wrong word.
definitely the wrong word. Someone that broke into the Valaire's estate. You tied him to a chair, dragged him down the stairs, but unfortunately, before you're able to reach the front door, shocking absolutely no one, the witching hour is now upon us. Everything is locked, the lights dim, the clocks continue to tick, and a very brooding figure has appeared at the top of the stairs, looking down at the two of you. And we shall indeed pick up right from where we left off. Cue the music. All right,
yeah.
Maverick, Kaiba, what do you do?
I wanted to see if I could banish her.
You wanna go-
salt ball at it?
You want Salt Ball and Banish. Okay.
Yes.
We'll go ahead and open with
The salt ball first, preferably.
Salt Ball first? Okay.
Yeah. You know, I have all these guns, and none of them are going to be useful against a ghost.
That's not necessary.
Some silver bullets or holy bullets.
Say, remember how general engagement works? As long as it cannot reach you, and you say I'm attacking, I will let you know basically what happens. So if the creature is indeed far away, you shoot, the damage, quote unquote, will just happen. Unless the creature has a range attack, then you will exchange. So it is up to you. The person in the chair is struggling and squirming and just kind of generally freaking out, understandably. Kaiba, how exactly are you doing this? As she is indeed at the top of the steps.
Well, that's an easy target then, I guess.
Okay.
So I just huck a ball of salt to this.
Define ball of salt.
It is like a slightly condensed ball of salt that like powders during the throw.
Okay.
How big is it? Like an inch? 2 inches?
No, it's about the size of a marble. It's not too big.
Oh, you're only real tiny.
So
Yeah,
half
I mean
an inch.
it becomes like a dust-ish thing when it hits anything.
Sure.
If it hits anything.
Yeah. We'll say since it's small and compact, it can most likely reach up there. But in order to strike your target, I'll have to ask you to roll under pressure. Do. Excellent. I will say, as you are throwing this, both of you do notice one thing. She only has a single free hand. The other one is grasping something. It's somewhat difficult to make out from this distance, but it seems to be the severed hand of another individual. And this hand is clutching a candle, a currently burning candle. Most of the light that's illuminating her and her flowing hair and dress is coming from this light source. As you fling forth this salt ball, it will indeed hurl towards her, but it doesn't strike her dead on. It hits one of the banisters on the side of the stairs. Salt sprays, and you see she's indeed disturbed by it, but otherwise undamaged. She sets her eyes to you, Kaiba, as Maverick, you prepare to...
I want to see if I can shoot her. You got me wondering now.
Okay.
Both my 9mm and my shotgun are close weapons. Am I close enough for those to count?
Yes, close is basically across the room.
It seems a little weird that it says close and not far. Well, okay, I guess it counts sniper rifles far. All right.
Yeah. So far would be a sniper rifle, close is basically any gun, and then hand is a melee weapon, and then intimate is like biting someone.
All right, I'm going to use my 9mm, not the shotgun.
Okay. You just open fire?
Just like 2 quickies to see if I can hit.
All right, I'm going to ask you to roll the same.
Act under pressure?
Yep.
Under pressure.
I
Come
don't
on.
even need to bottle it up. Sweet.
You can do it. Ooh, close. All right, Maverick, you do indeed fire at this individual. 2 harm, I believe?
Yeah.
All right.
Hold. Yes.
Holding.
2 harm.
Excellent. It does seem to damage her in some way, but as she begins to slowly descend the stairs, you see a very wicked smile creep across her lips, almost as if she's undisturbed by this assault. I guess, pardon the pun.
Wait, she's damaged but unbothered?
Correct. Very much unbothered.
I assume like her physical form was slightly blown away, but it's not damaged anyway, basically.
It warbles. When you
Yeah.
shoot her, Maverick, we'll say specifically because Kaiba, you opened up with salt. You actually do see a physical wound. The bullet shoots straight through her, almost as if she's made of a clay or something. There's no resistance, no bone, no anything. And a black, seeping goo oozes from the wound that slowly begins to close itself.
No ghost could bleed. Can I pull out my shotgun and shoot the hand, the live dead one?
The thing she's holding onto?
Yeah.
As you go to do that, the creature quickly moves downward, moving up against Kaiba. And you see that she is indeed close enough that, well, you could potentially damage your friend. She moves down with lightning speed, taking almost one step and just almost warping effectively in front of the two of you. You can smell her. You can feel her. Her presence
What does she
is
smell like, actually?
rot, death, as if there was a pool of blood settling for far too long.
Can I help him escape, like, via, like, yanking his shirt, yanking him back, and then shooting the shotgun?
I mean, I will tell you or give you the advice, I guess, to run to the living room.
And leave the schmo here?
I mean, drag him with you, I guess, but get into a room that is sealable. Or a
Well,
enclosed space, rather.
in that case, I guess I'll help the schmo escape.
Okay, so you're gonna grab the dude and start shimmying away, basically, putting your gun away.
Yeah.
Considering she's not currently focused on you, Maverick, you're able to do this effectively without anything stopping you. How are you lifting him? Same way, just kind of over the shoulder and go.
No, this way I'll just drag him. If the
All right,
chair
you
breaks,
begin-
it breaks.
You begin to drag him, and you hear him just sort of whimpering to himself as she moves in towards Kaiba. And
I
Hmm.
run.
Hmm?
Run.
you begin to run, but she slinks behind you, moving at just an unearthly speed. You feel her hands caress the back of your neck as you're turning to run with Maverick, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say sorry. You feel her hand caress the back of your neck. It feels cold and sickly, and there's almost a sweet release in this. It almost feels good for but a moment, but Kaiba, you do indeed know better.
I thought
And
you
as-
said she liked you.
And as she runs her
No?
hand along your neck, you can feel her penetrate into your skin, her nails pushing under you. You know it's not actually happening, but it feels as if it is. There's no physical wound,
I need to
but you
take me
feel
out date before you do that.
you feel somewhat drained. Take one harm, and you feel as if she pulled something from you and is somewhat rejuvenated, stronger than before.
And as
Are
I
you-
run away, I turn and throw another pile of salt in her face.
All right. Seeing as this is a somewhat tense situation, go ahead and roll to act under pressure again, my friend.
Good thing I have a lot of salt, I guess.
Good thing you have a lot of salt. Good thing you're not throwing heaps of salt. Individual amounts definitely benefit you. Alrighty. Unfortunate. We will say, as we're not keeping a distinct track of certain items and such, that you fumble to grab at some of your salt, and the constant ticking, the chill that runs down your flesh, this general situation uneases Kaiba, and his hand slips, and instead of throwing salt, instead you drop more than you would like onto the ground. She sees it as she's chasing you and very distinctly floats and moves around this pile of salt.
Experience, by the way, right?
Yes, correct. Mark experience.
Experience. Can I drop the guy on the floor and shoot her in the head?
If you want to turn to shoot, Kaiba's not necessarily in the way, so you can just kind of shoot, yeah.
Well, I'm not using my shotgun either. It's my 9mm again.
Pistol again? Okay.
Kick ass or
Shooting
under
a shotgun
pressure.
in a
So
hallway.
she can't hit you back in her current state, so you don't need to roll to kick some ass. And Kaiba's sort of diving out of the way to escape from her, so I will say he's in a decent position. Probably when he fumbled the salt, he's looking down, so you take that advantage, Maverick, to quickly turn, and you snap two bullets quickly into her, one into her shoulder, one piercing through her cheek, tearing through flesh, and you see her smile again, and her teeth gleam through the hole in her face. She's now looking to you, Maverick, seemingly floating over Kaiba as if to pay you no mind now. The individual, is he upright, Maverick? Or have you kind of just thrown him to the side and teetered him off?
I think I kind of flumped him down onto his side.
All right, he bangs onto his wrist and you hear him sort of shout in pain, almost waking him from this scared stupor that he's in. She moves closer and closer to you, and you can see a sick joy dance across her lips as she moves in, Maverick. She gets closer and closer.
In the room right now.
Yeah, I'm in the living room. I would have thrown him down as soon as I made it in.
Right, can I throw another bottle of salt at him and tell him to bar the door with salt, I guess?
To Maverick?
Yeah, make a salt line.
Are you inside the room
Nope,
with
I'm
me?
currently not inside, I'm in the other side, but I can run away because she's
yeah.
gone now.
He's basically like over here near the entrance, and then there's like a hallway-ish thing separating you guys. So effectively, he
I can start
could.
running to the other side of the hallway.
Yeah, he could start booking it elsewhere if you wanted to.
Is a study there, or what room is that?
There's basically like a throughway here, and then it moves up towards the study, which you guys haven't really explored yet.
Right. I guess I'll do that and run through the study.
Okay.
All
Do the
right.
same there. with yet
Surprising
another
no
bottle
one.
of
I'm gonna
salt.
ask you to act under pressure again,
Me or him?
Kaiba, because he's the one throwing the salt.
Time to get assaulted, I guess.
All right, wonderful.
Consistent, please.
But that's fortunately that's how the dice work. Average of 7 every time, unless you're terribly unlucky or super lucky. You're able to hurl enough salt past this creature, past Zenobia. It lands in front of Maverick, and she very clearly has you set in her sights, Maverick. Do you know to make the salt line?
Yeah.
Okay. And how precisely are you doing it before she falls in on you?
Probably a little too messily, but I will make sure to fill in any gaps.
All right. You
As long
Like
as
I
it's
won't
not
just I'll kind of half dump it, but not senselessly dump it.
excellent. You quickly create a salt line, and as you do, she moves up to it, and she pauses for a moment as if not to pass it, and you see her wave the candle in front of you, Maverick. Putting the salt line together and experiencing this creature move to you at an unearthly speed, I'll have to ask you to act under pressure again. All right. While this is twofold, fortunately, Maverick, you're able to hold firm. And Kabi, you know your friend is, for the most part, for now, protected. You make the salt line. You know that there's something odd about this candle. It glows sickly green. But you look away. You focus on your task at hand, Maverick, and you're able to make this barrier. The person behind you still sputtering as she stops and then turns to look towards Kaiba.
She's right in front of me now, right?
She is right in front of you.
As
Can
this is
I-
happening, I'm running away.
Can I whip out my shotgun and shoot the hand?
She's going to dash away from you. So I will say you can attack, but let's see. I don't like spamming this move, but I'd say if that's what you're going for, she's going to be somewhat out of the way. I would say act under pressure, but because she's not dashing away from you, but moving and it's such a small target, I'm going to say -1 to that.
What?
All right, still an 8.
Subtract 1 for an 8.
Correct. I'll say you fire off, and she'll take an additional damage as the shot is scattered. And we'll say the payoff is you don't strike it, as it is a very, very small target, and maybe she's aware you're looking for it. Almost shielding the hand with her shoulder, she intercepts most of the pellets. And while she has indeed taken damage, once again, she seems undeterred by it. As a black liquid seeps from her flesh. She looks to you, Maverick, again, quickly, almost letting you know that she'll be back. You can hear laughter dance throughout your mind. As she quickly turns the corner, and you no longer see Zenobia.
Kaiba, hurry up!
Kaiba, you enter the study. And as you do, you notice there's something different about it, something more ethereal. Prior, you will walk through this room rather quickly. It's a library. But now, there's something different. There are spectral books floating throughout the room. You see doubled images of the various shelves. You see some chairs floating only to vanish a moment later. And taken in by all this, you pause for a moment before quickly remembering why you're here, what you're doing, and who you're running from. What do you do?
I salt the doorway at home. How many doorways are there in this study, actually?
We will say there is a rather wide door entering the study, and then it will not link back to the stairs, as there's a wall where she currently is, but it would lead basically upward. We'll say the bottom is circular, so effectively you go from the study, there'd be a door going this way, basically through a hall, there'd be some like side rooms here that didn't have anything of value in them, then you'd be back to the kitchen, and then back to the side of the room.
Yeah, well, I don't want to stay in this room because it's kind of spooky.
Fair enough.
It's probably not for the best. So, but I will salt the doorway, and then run the circle to see if I can get to Maverick.
You begin to make the salt. She sees you're doing this again, and that same playful, wicked smile dances across her lips. And as you're attempting to form
I feel like
this
she thinks we're really cute.
salt line,
Definitely.
she'll wave the candle at you again, Kaiba. I'll have to ask you to, again, roll back under pressure. Alrighty.
Very consistent.
While you are assembling this salt line, you begin steadily thinking what you must do and trying to focus as much as you possibly can, but as she gets closer and closer, you feel a very strange urge to look up, and it's difficult to completely resist this strange urge. You know you shouldn't, but you have to. And for but a moment, you look up for just long enough that unfortunately you're unable to finish the salt line, but you're able to pull your eyes away before you stare directly into the candle. And unfortunately, she moves past into the study with you. And again, you hear her laughter as she dashes towards you, Kaiba. She moves seemingly through the floating furniture and very quickly around the sofa, barrel over it to get away from her. Again, she caresses her flesh over yours, and it's cold, it's sick, and it's wrong. You feel daggers entering your skin. You feel nails raking against the back of your eyelids, and you feel pain. And again, take an additional.
Stop touching me, lady.
Take an additional point of damage.
Do I have to see her in order to attempt to banish her?
Yes. You get the feeling she is indeed a powerful entity.
Can I summon a monster into the world?
You may attempt to do so. I will say, while she is chasing Kaiba, Maverick, what are you doing?
Summoning a monster into the world?
All right. Holy shit.
I'm taking a point out of Margot's book.
Alrighty. May I ask, what's your summoning?
What's good against ghosts?
She asks the air. He asks the air.
If you shout hard enough, I might be able to hear you.
Kaiba, what's good against ghosts? I'm
Anything
talking
holy?
monstrous. Anything holy?
Anything holy?
Is there a monstrous celestial being?
What is the exact phrasing? Summon a monster into the world. We will say summon a monster into the world can be a generic catch-all for magical beings.
I mean,
So
it
that's
could be like a fallen angel or
Yes.
something.
something from the
Shadow.
far beyond. So fae and demons, all those fun elementals and such.
I casually summoned a fallen angel.
Alrighty, Maverick. What precisely are you looking for? You hear something holy. What does your mind go to? Is you're chanting this incantation and whipping your hands quickly through the air, holding something from the other side.
And I think this does
Probably
count for my
angels.
often right. So you do get a +1.
Juicy.
I forgot I can link stage.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, your question, Maverick,
Yeah, +1
is
ongoing. Oh, cool.
your
and you get
question was
experience?
yes,
Oh my god, that's
you get
cool.
some mark experience, and effectively, your question was what works well against ghosts. So in general, any knowledge you would ask Kaiba of what works against ghosts, not necessarily how to run away from, but how to damage them, you'll get a +1 for this entire encounter.
No matter what I roll?
No matter what you roll, you always get +1.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yes, it is. All right,
So
Maverick,
I'm
what
thinking
dances through your
something angelic.
mind? Mm-hmm.
An angel.
You're thinking an
Anything
angel?
Yeah.
Clean, I guess, would be the better term, but
All right, you
I'm
focus.
just thinking angel. Doesn't have to be a good one.
Sure enough, you focus for a moment, Maverick. As you place your hands in front of you and finish the incantation, your hands cease their movement, and you hold them forward, pulling power from the other side. You realize this will take but a moment. As you focus and focus, the person tied to the chair is slowly kicking away from you, freaking out as the light begins to enter the room, and in front of you, you see a small tear, and this creature begins to pull through its reality into yours. And while it's being summoned, we'll kick back to Kaiba. She almost moves away from you, slightly, Kaiba, as she slowly and sensually licks her finger. You see a strange spectral ooze covering her as she pulls something from you, and she seems to take pleasure in this. She shudders, and she lets out a sort of breathy moan as she looks to you again, and her eyes are lit with fire and a very evil sensuality. It does make you feel sick all over.
I will
Hope
keep
Kaiba's
my
not a
own
virgin.
advice.
What?
I said I hope Kaiba's not a virgin.
Oh, not anymore after this, I guess.
This is a very bad first experience.
That ship has sailed.
Kaiba's gone around. There's a reason he's part of a dark past, you know.
Ah, gotcha.
Oh yeah, sex cult. Anyway,
I mean, not specifically, but yes.
don't you judge me.
No, Kaiba's gonna heed his own advice and keep running and pull out a crucifix. See if that does anything at all.
All right, you do pull out a crucifix, and you see she's about to strike you again. And as her claws come down, she pauses for a moment, retracting not necessarily from an invisible barrier, but just because she knows better. And she moves back. You can tell she's not completely deterred by this, but she's very unhappy that you're clearly prepared. You're not like the others, Kaiba. And she gives you that look very playfully and mischievously, almost like you're going to be a challenge, aren't you? And she laughs.
Keep running.
Looking to you,
Cute.
as you run around the corner, she actually sort of tilts her head, and you don't see her follow you, Kaiba, but you know that she's disappeared. And as you turn to look through behind the hallway, you know she should be directly behind you, as the cross will not prevent her from following you, but it might prevent you, her, in some instances, from actually striking you in that moment. She's gone, though. You don't see her. I'm just gonna move her here for now. Maverick, in this moment, while Kaiba's running, you do hear footsteps. And they're almost actually in time with the tick, 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 ticking of the clocks that continue their assault on your senses.
They sound ethereal, or like my prisoner is escaping.
Sorry, what?
Do they sound ethereal, or like my
footsteps?
prisoner is escaping? Yeah.
Oh, they're Kaiba's footsteps. These
Okay.
sound like real footsteps. You're not looking towards your prisoner. He's kicking away from you to move away because this is way too much information happening way too quickly for a normal individual.
I'm probably gonna have to send him to therapy,
Potentially.
social and mental, because he's a criminal.
And as you begin to summon this being, Maverick, you see a wheel exit from this circle. It's a wheel on a wheel on a wheel on a wheel. And inside this wheel is essentially a bundle of eyes that are bounding and roiling about. Wings burst forth from this creature, but the wings make no sense as they turn and gyrate, flapping, if you will, but almost as if it's used to an entirely different plane in how it would orchestrate its movement. The creature looks to you, Maverick, and doesn't speak, but you hear bells. Bells, but you can understand them. It's almost as if this creature's asking you, what shall I do?
Ghost in the house, long black hair, creepy candle.
Still looking at you.
Destroy it?
The creature's incapable of nodding, but you hear another chime, higher in pitch this time, as the creature begins to take in its surroundings. It begins to move outward, searching for this creature that you described, Maverick. And you actually see it move into the kitchen. It's looking about, and Kaiba, as you're entering, you see this strange,
I'm gonna shout, Kaiba, incoming!
strange floating wheeled being. You know it. That means you know harm. I'm not sure if you've seen summons and such before, but I assume this would give you pause.
Kaiba is blinded as he walks in and just screams, "Did you really summon a fucking angel?"
You said angelic would work! I mean, holy.
I mean, a bit over the top maybe.
I will say it's about the size of a soccer ball.
I am Margot's twin!
I have no idea who Mario is.
hesitant to say you'd love her. Marvick, thanks for a moment.
I'll take a moment to take a good look at the angel and be confused by its non-Euclidean appearance, and then just slowly walk past it into the living room.
It's seemingly looking for something, Kai, but it does scan you and check you for just a moment as you begin to move your way through the kitchen. Your movement, though, your limbs, everything about you feels slow and sluggish for some reason. You're not entirely sure why. You look around the room and seeing have you triggered any traps, anything in this room, but it can't be. It must not be. You do feel an intense pressure behind you, but you know she's not behind you. Something is happening. Something's going on. The angel, this small creature, senses it as well and whips around the corner, moving down the hallway to look for this entity, this creature that it was summoned to hunt. Kaiba, before you're able to enter the dining living room, you start moving towards the door of the kitchen, but you're maybe 5-10 or so feet away from it. Now that you're sort of noticing, it's almost as if your feet are moving through a sludge. And suddenly, materializing in the doorway between the kitchen and the living room, but closer to the living room, Zenobia looks at you, smiles as she sort of floats backwards into the dining room, and you
He really doesn't know when to give up.
hear the door slam loudly as she turns to you, Maverick, not 10 feet away from you.
So, how fast can I enchant my weapon with holy magic?
That would take but a moment, so you need to, of course, use magic. She will most likely get an attack or probably just one attack on you, because you have no way of defending yourself.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll use magic as well to attack her, I guess.
Let's see. I will say first she strikes you, Maverick. Take 1 damage that pierces through your armor. She moves onto you. Quickly. Far, far too quickly. Almost angrily, but still in a playful way, as she rakes her claws across your face. You feel as if your flesh has been sundered permanently, torn open, your lips split, your eye gouging, a drippy, bloody mess. This is not the truth, though. You're fine, it's just she scarred something deep inside you. And once again, she licks at her claws, moving to strike you again, Maverick. You begin to enchant your shotgun, you said?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. You bless the remaining bullets you have on your shotgun. This is difficult, as this creature is directly in front of you, so you almost lose focus for but a moment. But you're able to get this done. I will ask you, what is the glitch? Effect is weakened, short duration, 1 harm. You take immediate attention, or problematic side effect.
Take a harm.
You'll take a harm. All right, go ahead and mark 1 more harm, Maverick. As you now get the feeling that we'll say in this time you have, we'll say you have 3 holy shots. You have more shotgun shells, but you were only able to bless 3 in the meantime.
All right. I fire.
All right, you quickly fire. Considering she is indeed in melee range, I will ask you to roll to kick some ass. Alrighty, my friend. You get a bonus. What do you want?
What do you mean I get a bonus?
You rolled a 10 plus. You can choose 1 extra effect. You gain the advantage. Take +1 forward or give +4 to another hunter. You can inflict terrible harm. You can suffer less harm, or you can force them where you want them. Getting all the good rolls.
I will inflict an extra terrible harm.
Alrighty. So currently it does 3 damage, +1 from the cast and +1 from that.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. That's 5. Right?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Holy shit. Nice. Nice. Alrighty. Did you say anything as you unload this holy shrapnel into this creature?
Get away from me, you ugly bitch.
As you say that, you actually hear her screech out, because she indeed saw what you've done, Maverick. Her scream echoes through the room, and you actually do indeed feel that you've taken real damage this time. As she almost mindlessly rakes out at you, you see her flesh torn away, her dress is torn apart, and her abdomen is completely torn asunder. You actually do see rotted bone with strange runic inscriptions dancing across them, and they glow a dark, sickly green.
Hey, Angel, she's over here.
You get the feeling that the angel is taking its rounds and it's indeed on its way back. Maverick, this scream that you feel reverberate through your bones. You begin to feel a liquid actually seep from one of your ears. This was quite loud, as it actually almost caused every clock in the entire house to go off at once. Just a louder gong. It wasn't necessarily ticking to the next hour, but something triggered. Kaiba, you hear this as well, and with a quick start, all the clocks in the kitchen go off. You've not experienced this before, and looking at them, you know it's not the hour at hand. Something else has happened. Maverick, taking additional harm from that screech. And on top of this, seeing as she has indeed suffered horrible harm, she fumbles and actually drops this hand that she was holding.
Now, that harm went through my armor, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Everything she does goes through your armor. While that is happening, Kabi, you hear a shotgun blast go off. What are you doing?
I'm rounding the corner and...
Keep in mind there's a slammed door in front of you.
Oh, is it slammed shut?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I open it all? Or is
You
it,
attempt to, but it's
magically slammed?
completely shut. It's locked. The handle turns, but you feel there's a force keeping it from opening. There are no physical locks on this. I'll say, Maverick, you feel your little holy buddy coming from behind. He's whipped through the study, through one of the side rooms, and you see him coming through the entrance. So you know the salt will not stop him.
Good. I mean, I'm just gonna fire, make sure the idiot doesn't get murdered.
The thief is in the corner, just kind of rocking to himself like, what the hell, what the hell, what the hell, what the hell, what the hell?
Do I need to see the monster to do any of the magical effects, or is it specific ones?
Depends exactly what you're trying to do.
Basically trap it in place. That's probably sight.
Yes, that would require sight. You can technically make a trap on the floor. So I will say, magic in this world can theoretically do anything. If it's not one of the effects listed, you can add an effect. You can say, basically, just tell me exactly what you want to do, while not necessarily looking at the effects. Those help. They actually almost encompass everything. But if you want to do something different, something slightly off, just limit it.
I mean, I guess I could try to sanctify the room that Maverick is in.
Okay. What like essentially
Basically make it temporarily count as a holy place or something.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Okay. We'll say after the door is slammed, you immediately knew what to do, so you instantly start your incantation. I will allow for that. The casting time will be about a minute or so, but that should effectively encompass Maverick's little chanting, his shotgun blast, and whatever about to happen next to him. So it won't take you too long. Just go ahead and roll weird for me. Seeing as there's salt already in place, it will indeed cut down on time. Alrighty, which glitch are we going for?
Sorry, what?
Whenever you roll magic, you choose one glitch. If you roll
Yeah,
a 7 to an
yeah,
eye.
it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Okay. What glitch? The effect is of short duration.
Short duration, okay. As you begin to chant Maverick, you feel that your friend outside is doing something to assist you, something to help you. Zenobia seems to be on the back foot. She seems... There's something also stronger about her. A very odd mixture of both fear, you're not sure if you have the upper hand or not, or whether she's playing a game with you, you cannot tell. Looking at the clock quickly, you can see that some time has indeed passed. It hasn't been an hour, but it's coming up to that hour. What do you do next? She's directly in front of you. You have your shotgun. She's sort of staggered back a bit.
Can I try trapping her?
You want to try trapping her?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll say in conjunction with what Kaiba is doing. I will say go ahead and roll the same.
What did he roll?
But weird magic. Weird science.
Wait, I'm just using use magic, right?
Correct, yeah. Sorry, I'm just making a joke.
Is that different from rolling weird?
No, it's the exact same thing. Some effects technically can be slightly different, but yeah, you always roll just plus weird.
Very consistent, this. 7s
All right.
and 11s.
Yeah, you're doing really, really good. Actually, you rolled a 5 and a 6. Fantastic. With +0, too. Jesus, very nice. All right, Maverick. You begin to chant this. And chant you do. So nobody can see what you're doing. Seeing as you didn't take the advantage to pick up the hand, she quickly scoops that up. Looking at you, Maverick, as if to distract you, she moves up to you slowly. Sort of, I don't want to say pocketing the hand, but she puts it in the gaping hole that is now her chest, and it rests inside her intestines. She rubs her bloodied hands along your cheeks, Maverick, and she puts her forehead to yours. But you focus on your spell. She begins to smile, and you can just feel the scent of her.
Do these intestines look real?
Yes, everything does. You can hear her intestines and her innards moving and slorching about as she gets closer and closer to you. As she smiles, she's clearly trying to distract you, Maverick, and she digs her nails into your head. You twitch for a moment, but you're able to hold steady. Her smile grows wider and wider until her cheeks split, and the smile goes further than, well, you're comfortable with. Her jagged teeth begin to gnash as she can hear the spell chanted over and over, and she gets the feeling that, well, she might not survive this. And looking around, you know your spell's about to be successful as both you and Kaiba somehow share an invisible link, beginning to hold this creature down. She begins to whip and whirl around the room, almost as if to escape. She dashes to one corner, dashes to another corner, taking her time, looking and seeing what she can do next. But as she moves to the center, you see she's about to escape, and before she's able to, she freezes for a moment, and she stops. You can tell that you have her, but not for long. She ceases her movement, and the door, Kaiba in front of you, slowly swings open.
Is
I don't have
she
to-
trapped right now?
Is she trapped right now?
Currently, yes, you do not have long, but you can indeed see she is trapped.
I don't have to stand still to keep her trapped, right?
You get the feeling that any sudden movements or a break in concentration will indeed stop this spell, so you can move. You can do other things, but if you venture too far, lose sight of her, or if anything extra happens, you get the feeling that you will indeed lose your prey.
Right, and the door is open now, so I can see her.
Yes, the door is open. The other door behind Maverick is open. There's just a salt mine there.
I will pull out
Kaiba,
my-
she shoved the hand in her guts.
I will pull out my magnum and shoot the hand.
You shoot the hand that's inside her, basically?
Yeah, I mean, it's not sticking out. Or?
It's, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's easy to shoot. That's what you're asking.
Yeah.
All right, you fire off. Just one bullet.
Yeah.
Basically testing the waters.
Basically, yeah.
You fire Kaiba,
Close
and
enough.
while you strike the hand, you notice something different about it. It doesn't have the same ethereal glow. You do make a bullet hole. It does not bleed. That black, sticky substance that's been leaking out of her does not leak from this. It seems to be made of something entirely different. You're not sure, as your focus is currently on the spell, but you get the feeling that this is something, comes from somewhere. It's not just a hand. You've read about it before, but currently it slips your mind.
Where's my angel summon?
Your angel has actually joined the room, and you notice, Maverick, that you're looking over your shoulder. It helped you with this incantation. It's one of the reasons why you're able to hold her in place. The room actually feels lighter as well, not just on account of your summon.
So, if it helped, can I approach and grab the hand?
Give her a
Yes.
hand. I will give you a hand grabbing the hand.
All right. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna shove my hand in her guts.
All right.
Just wait till I tell Margot what I spent the night doing.
You reach into her abdomen, and as you do, you actually see her flesh slowly regenerating. Not fast enough to stop you. So you whip your hand out quickly. Some of her ectoplasm and goop is left on the tip of the hand, but you quickly shake it off, and you see that it is indeed a human hand. The candle is still lit, and it is gripped tightly around this candle.
Can I yank the candle out?
You have it.
I blow out the candle.
You blow out the candle, and it goes out. There's a sort of spark and a release of tension in the room as you do that. Not staring directly at the candle, you're able to extinguish it with ease. She's looking down at the two of you, still somewhat playfully.
I mean, I want to destroy the candle or the hand.
Okay, you want to just try destroying it?
Yeah.
Okay. How will you do that?
I'm trying to think. Fire is probably easiest.
Technically, yes. It does seem to be made of just wax.
Is like
It-
investigate a mystery something I can do right now, or do I need to do that? It's out of danger.
I will let
Read a
one of
bad
you.
situation?
So this is indeed, this whole thing's a bad situation. That would have been good at the beginning of running. It can be used now.
Very true.
It can definitely be used now, and so can investigate a mystery. You guys are more than welcome to do either of those. And while I will say it will slightly,
Basically, I want to try if I can recall knowing what this monster is.
sure. We'll say if you fail either of these, something bad will happen, but middle of the road rolls will be just fine. Mainly because you're trying to maintain focus on holding her in place. But yes, whoever wants to go first, swing it out there. Alrighty, investigate a mystery. You get one question, my friend. Which one are you going for?
What sort of creature is it?
Okay, as I can't really give you much more information, you do indeed know that, I assume you assume it's a ghost.
Basically, or some kind of wax ghost or something.
Okay.
At this point.
I'll clarify that. She is indeed the spirit of the dead Zenobia Belair's. There is something somewhat special about her, but that can't be discerned by just looking at her and seeing the general situation. There is definitely more to her. There's something she is hiding from you guys, and you know that for sure.
Is she a ghoul?
No. You can tell that she's doing this of her own volition. You can tell that while damaging her current body, Kaiba, she's not the type of ghoul or ghosty that you can dispatch by just destroying this. There is something more to it. So while she is indeed a ghost,
I'm
there
actually
is
thinking the house needs to go.
there's something she's hiding from you.
I mean, she's definitely connected to the clocks somehow, or the house.
And then Maverick, you want to roll something?
I don't think read a bad situation will help me.
Perfectly acceptable.
I mean, you're good if it's
The
are there
only
any
question I
dangers
think
we haven't noticed.
yeah, I think that's the only question I'd want to ask.
You're more than welcome. I will say we'll slightly
got
drop
one.
your focus. But all the same, which question are you going for?
Any dangers we haven't noticed?
Any dangers you haven't noticed? Yes. In fact, I'm so glad you asked that, because now you notice this danger. Behind Kaiba, you actually see a shifting. You see movement. And you see the flash of something sharp. And behind you, Kaiba, you hear someone whisper,
Hey there, shithead.
Looking
Help
to the-
someone
Get out.
escape?
looking to the
this?
corner.
Can I use this now? That's perfect.
Yes. You see him holding up this dagger, and his wrists are torn, bloody mess. Looking to the corner quickly, Maverick, you can see that while you were casting the spell, Zenobia most likely freed this individual and now has control over him. All of his limbs are bent and turned in strange ways. His movements robotic. But fortunately, that's a very spicy roll, my friend. You get them out clean. Excellent. How will you save Kaiba?
Is he in the room or is he in the hallway?
He's basically right behind you.
Me, right?
He's right behind you, yeah.
Do I
She's
need to do
effectively
something physical,
floating-
or can I just call out?
I would say something physical, as he is directly behind Kaiba.
You could tell me to step inside and slam the door shut in his face, I guess.
I mean, actually, I was thinking about throwing the hand at him.
Also works. Though then he might have the hand.
Whatever you want, you did succeed, so you get him out clean. Whatever you want to do, let me know.
Also just shoot him now.
I can do that too. Well, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. Is he directly behind Kaiba? Can I shoot him in the leg? No, because you said he's being puppeted, so that's not gonna matter.
I will say this: whatever you choose to do will succeed. However you want to do it.
Wait, you're telling me that if I shoot him, it'll stop the puppetry?
It will cease the attack on Kaiba. because your intent is to
I
stop the
won't
attack on
die,
Kaiba.
is the question.
Yes,
the
he's not
answer.
going to get stabbed in the back multiple times by a knife, basically.
I'll shoot the arm holding the knife.
Alrighty. Quickly
Where did
assessing.
you get a knife?
Well, you actually see it's not a knife. It's a strange, jagged hunk of metal. You're not really sure necessarily where he got it from. You can see that his hand is bloody holding onto it. He's gripping it far, far too tightly, almost as if it's against his will. Maverick quickly assessing the situation, seeing that the individual was freed, somehow moved and dragged himself behind Kaiba. You're able to fire quickly, shooting the item out of his hand. Kaiba, you're also able to move, but in all of this action and confusion, Zenobia screeches again, and you can tell that she is now free. And as she looks at the two of you, the prey she has been waiting for, she opens her mouth to say or do something, but she's quickly cut off. As suddenly, all the clocks in the house bong a single time. And as they do, she recognizes what has happened. And looking to each of you, she just whispers, "I'll see you again," and is gone.
Is the hand also gone?
No, the hand is... What did you do with it, Maverick?
I'm still holding it.
You are still holding it.
I look at the hand.
You shudder as you look at the hand, and now that Zenobia has left, you're once again greeted by the ticking, ticking, ticking of clocks.
Is the guy back to normal? Well, normal with his hand blown off.
He's leaning up against the wall, sort of looking down at his bloodied hand, both from the shot Maverick and both from gripping this jagged weapon.
I wish to do this too. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Oh, let me link it too. That would help.
All right. You have a full aid trained to heal people. When you do this, roll cool. Patient is stabilized and healed for 2 harm on Kaiba, I assume.
Does Kaiba need it?
Yes, I have 3 harm.
Both of you are hurt. Yes.
Can I use it on all 3 of me? Us?
He does a lot of you. This is awkward. This move takes place with regular first aid. I will say you can use this once in this instance, and then you can use regular first aid after. How's that sound? Regular first aid heals for 1.
I mean, we are going to go out of the house at this point, I assume.
Okay, so you and me both have 3. What about the guy?
He is, while he's damaged, his life is not in danger. He's very much bleeding, so if anything, you guys have taken more of mental wounds and some physical wounds while running from this creature.
Go ahead and use it on Kaiba then.
Okay. So Kaiba, go ahead and heal for 2 harm. And then if you wish to bandage yourself up and assist this other individual Maverick, I'll have to ask you to
yes.
basically roll that 2 more times. So basically just roll plus cool 2 more times.
Plus cool.
Yep. Was it the first one's on you?
I mean, can I help him with that, or is that...
Technically, so Jesus. Technically, if he fails, you can roll to assist. Go ahead and heal 1 harm, Maverick, and then do it again.
And then this is for the guy.
For the guy. All right, didn't need any help.
Oh,
Nice.
never mind.
And I will comment. Oh my god, I'm turning into Margot.
It looks like Margaret didn't patch people up, so.
Still no idea who that is.
I really need to introduce you to my twin. I'll make sure to do that when we're done.
Sounds good.
All right, I will say you relatively quickly heal everybody up, Maverick. The individual is too shocked to really.
I'm gonna tie him up again with any leftover ropes that's still intact.
Sure. There's nowhere near enough rope, unfortunately, as Zenobia cut through it pretty mercilessly.
Have the cops arrived yet, actually?
He's shaky, yes. So while all this is happening, the two of you kind of pause for a moment. And between all of the clicking, clocking, you actually hear someone banging on the front door. And now that the darkness that was residing throughout these halls has ceased, you actually notice there are lights outside.
I'll look from myself to Kaiba. Which one of us looks cleaner?
Well, most of my injuries are internal.
Maverick, you look like you are ready to, go wage a war, so...
Yeah.
Your overall look is more questionable. You have all your weapons on you, you have a tack vest on. Kaiba's more normal.
Kaiba's the one who called, too.
I will go to the door.
Alright, Kaiba, you head to the door, and The first thing you see is an individual who is very clearly a cop. I won't throw them on here, but behind him you actually see the two nosy neighbors. They're sort of looking from a distance. You see that the lights on his vehicle are indeed just in full swing, just parked in front of the house. Whatever you guys did, whatever sound emitted from this abode, clearly woke the neighbors and woke others. You're not sure if it was just your call or something else, but you indeed have drawn the attention of the authorities and others. And this guy's kind of scratching at his chest. As you open the door, he looks at you and kind of coughs real quick and looks into the house, looks to you. What the hell's going on?
Ah, right, the cops. Sorry about that. We had some issues with the house.
Looking around a bit, you actually see another vehicle pull up, and you notice that there were already two. And he kind of turns to them, and he kind of puts his hand out as if, like, hold up, and looks back to you and says, "Son, we've been here for about an hour. Well, not necessarily an hour, but closer to 45. Regardless, what the hell is happening here? We're hearing gunshots, we're hearing screams, we're hearing all these types of noises."
No big deal, really. We called you about the intruder, right?
Correct?
Well, right about midnight, the entire safety security system in the house decided to shut down, I guess, and locked us in. And the guy escaped, and we had trouble finding him again.
Where this individual escaped from? Where'd he go?
We have him, well, tied down again.
Oh,
Though
so
this time it required a bit more heavy-handed work this time.
you're saying he's still on the premises then? He didn't escape?
Yeah, I'll call Merrick over and to bring the guy with him.
I will roughly manhandle the guy over.
Okay.
Luckily, I have my personal guard with me. Otherwise, I probably would have been, well, in a lot of trouble.
The individual looks around a bit, and then looks to you. A lot of suspicion in his eyes. He sees Maverick sort of drag the other individual in the chair, and he's out of it. His hand is clearly wrapped up. There was blood. This kind of leans up to what you were saying. So he's thinking. And you mind if I take a step in the house, son?
Sure, go ahead.
As he walks in, he kind of takes a quick shock at just how loud it is, all the clocks and such. And looking about,
Yeah.
why the hell do you keep it so dark in here? Can't see a damn thing.
Power went out.
Yeah, I will also slightly louder to say so that the neighbors can hear, to collude with my story. Well, we're actually here to stay the night. With permission of the owner, of course, for the haunting of this house. To experience it,
Another narrowing of the eyes. What did you say, haunting?
Well,
That's
yeah.
right.
This house is pretty well known around here.
You know that's all some hulking bullshit, right?
Well, we were here to find that out, sir.
You're not
So far,
ripping
the
this.
only haunting we've experienced is this guy, and I'll point to the burglar.
You're not ripping this poor boy off, are you? You bunch of grifters. I will not stand for anyone cheating people in my fine town.
No. I mean, we've got permission to be here. You can call the owner if you want.
We also aren't charging.
Another look of like, the hell? You're not charging.
It's just for the experience, sir.
Goddamn kids. All right.
I think he's had a rough night.
Looking to the two of you, you can tell he's half buying your story. I will ask, probably Kaiva, since you are facing the individual, to roll me...
Manipulate someone?
Manipulate someone, yes.
Oh no.
Oh, no. I can help out.
Where is that again? I'll do this.
All right. Technically, if you do help out, this would be a 10. That is up to you, Maverick.
I will help out.
Okay, just don't mess up because it goes down.
No.
It does?
It doesn't go down. It's just you put yourself in a bad situation.
Where is my help out option?
10 is your gravy. 7 to 9, and
fine.
the
I won't
two-
help out.
Okay, no worries. It's a much better response. All right, so 7 to 9 is they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now and show them that you mean it. So basically, he wants a legitimately good reason from the two of you why he shouldn't probably bring all three of you in. As he heard gunshots, he heard screaming, he heard lots of noises. No lights. In fact, it was incredibly dark in here.
Drew from the owner, not good enough?
He wants to hear it from the two of you, as he thinks you're possibly ripping off the owner. You sold him a story that his place is haunted and charging him or not.
No,
You know.
no, we're just staying here with his permission, of course. He's moving out next week, actually. We just wanted it for the magazine. I'm sure you can ask Miss Rose. I'll point to Rose behind her.
As you say that, you notice that the two of them have gotten relatively close, and he actually kind of waved off the other police that have arrived, and one of the cars actually drove away. You can tell that this was going to escalate into a situation relatively soon. And she kind of shouts over, "Oh yeah, they're here. Just look at the house. They're good. You can trust us." And then he kind of looks at the two of them and says like, Comes back to you, just looking real grumpy. Specifically, he's been called this early in the morning.
I mean, if you do feel bad about the gunshots, that was sadly a mishap in the dark with the guy trying to, stab me, I guess.
I was actually about to ask about that. Well, I will say, while I am somewhat hesitant, I guess I'll accept your story. Listen, it's getting late. I just want to get home and book this son of a bitch. Maverick, you was your friend's name, yes?
Yeah.
Drag that individual over this way and we'll get him cuffed up. Did you time to that chair?
I did.
Impressive.
Thank you, sir. And I will start to drag him away.
All right, as you do, the officer sort of takes over and looks at the chair and looks to you, and
How is the chair still?
I don't necessarily need the chair.
I actually didn't tie him to the chair.
Oh, you didn't? You tied him up?
Yeah, I just tied him up.
Okay, cool. Excellent. You see him officially, cuff him with all that good stuff, and he kind of holds the individual up. He is very much out of it. He's just looking and muttering to himself. He kind of looks at him like, "What the hell is this boy talking about?"
If he tells you any weird stories, we were playing around with special effects.
He just waves his hand like, yeah, I don't believe that bullshit anyway. Listen, I get you not charging the boy, and I get you not, I don't know, kind of narrows his eyes, looking into the house, shakes his head again. Whatever it is you do, don't fill his head with a bunch of bullshit and hokum hocus, whatever the hell it's called. Just, please, straight and narrow. Do not make me come up here a second time.
Of course.
All right, gentlemen, have a good night. He turns, waves again to the other officer that was waiting, maybe a little too tensely, and he kind of gives him it's seriously, it's fine. We got the guy, and you can very much tell they have a quick conversation. While somewhat frustrated, he's able to pull them away. They turn their lights off. They bring the individual into their car, and they drive off into the sunset, if you will. And at that, you have Serena really quickly rush up to the front. Rose is sort of staying behind. She's still very much interested, but she's kind of more so leaning in and looking. So what happened, actually?
I'm gonna make sure they don't come inside the house. I'm gonna block the door with my body.
Okay, you block the door with your body, and suddenly Rose is
still there here, actually. How long does the summon last?
Long enough that they might see it. Have you disengaged with your friend, Mr. Maverick?
How long will it last?
I recall seeing somewhere they last 10 minutes to an hour, depending on what it is. And short means 1 minute. But I will say he would last long enough that if you wait too long, it'll probably hover next to you in a couple seconds. So you'd want to actively remove it before you chit-chat with anybody else. As you turn around, it's still floating in the dining room, awaiting orders, but it's getting antsy, if you will, and slowly moving towards you.
All right, I'll turn around and quietly mutter, "Thanks for your help, bud. You can go home now."
You hear more chiming. That is, well, I'll agree with the silence again and the ticking of this house. It's somewhat reassuring. But the angel sort of folds into itself and just disappears.
Not reassuring or is reassuring?
The sound the angel makes is reassuring.
Okay.
And unfortunately, you are brought back to the loud ticking clocks. Seeing you lean in the doorway, Rose kind of raises an eyebrow at that, and she almost pushes Serena out of the way to move up next to both of you. And Serena, trying to lean now closer, looking to both Maverick and Kaiba, says, "So, what happened exactly? That was all, a lie, right?"
Ma'am. It's a little dangerous in this house right now.
Oh, you look fine. What happened? Come on.
We're only fine because I'm so damn good at my job.
And Rose looks you up and down and says, yeah, you are.
Well, as it turns
I
out,
wink
there is
at her.
definitely
Oh, she
As it
kind of
turns out,
like
there's
jokingly fans herself off.
definitely something off about the house, though mostly it's just traps.
They both
Ooh,
look to each
traps
other
in
and
the
go,
house.
traps?
Yeah, actual legitimate kill you traps. It almost got me. See this dent on my armor?
They are both very interested in. They don't want to come in, but they're very clearly interested in what the hell you guys are doing because this is not remotely what they thought was going on inside. Okay, I believe you.
All right. Well,
Definitely a lot of interesting rooms, though.
yes, this house is fascinating and terrifying, and I'd really like it if you didn't stay in the front yard, just in case the front yard is also being trapped.
And they look at each other and look back to you. Fair enough, fair enough. I assume you'll be able to fill me in, Maverick, later?
Who said that?
Sure.
Serena, you didn't lose my number, right?
I still have your number, ma'am.
Good. And Rosa speaks up and says, "Oh, Mr. Maverick, it was Mr. Red. I didn't get your number, did I?
No, ma'am. I don't think so.
Oh, are we handing on that today?
Sure.
Buy one get one."
Yeah.
Serena sort of shoots her a somewhat angry look as you exchange information with Rose, and she like sticks her tongue at her like, "Meh." And seeing as you guys have spoken with them before, they do trust you, and in general, while they might not admit it, this house does indeed give them pretty uncomfortably spooky vibes. So quickly bidding you farewell and good night, both women return to their homes.
Okay, so we know she has a time limit.
Definitely. The witching hour.
How in the seven hells has any resident survived here more than a couple days?
Good question, actually.
Is it because we're so nosy?
Maybe. Maybe you need to die in a specific way to attract attention or something.
I assume you guys have closed the door and moved back into the house.
Yeah.
As you do, and you sort of look around, there's something that you can't help but notice. You can't put your finger on it, but the paintings look different than they did maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. There's something off about them. Obviously, it's difficult to focus on something of that nature when you're being chased, but there is something.
I investigate?
Let me see.
I think investigate a mystery will work on the pictures.
Yes.
Hold up, Kaiba. What's this? I get to hold 3.
I
2.
think you can roll for a
Oh, 2.
Dos.
what is being concealed here, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And what is being concealed here and what happened here? Are those two similar?
I guess that depends on the answer.
I'll answer one, and if you are satisfied, you can answer the other. How's that sound?
Okay, which one are you answering?
I'll start with what's being concealed here. So, Maverick, looking about and digging into your memory, if you will, you sort of realize that the the paintings have changed. While you're rushing around, digging into your memory and thinking back, a lot of these images pictured a woman, but she was never really facing the canvas. She was always looking off into the distance. As I mentioned before, a good amount of these paintings showed King Saul, not Solomon. Saul, yes. King Saul, essentially telling the story on the doomed visit from the Witch of Endor, back in the day. But if you recall, Maverick, and you're kind of remembering this as well, Kaiba, the image of the witch specifically changed in these photos and images to that of Zenobia. Some of them, while she lived, was still beautiful, and others in her current form, hideous, ugly, and horrifying. And some of those, you noticed that she was wielding the candle.
Was or is?
Was. They have turned back to their original form, so unfortunately you can't tell if they changed again. as Kai has mentioned, the witching hour has indeed passed.
The candle's gone.
So I'll put it this way: when you guys first walked in, the paintings are right now as they were when you first entered. During the witching hour, they changed. There was no candle during now, only during the witching hour.
So then there's nothing to see.
Yes, you're recalling a memory.
Yeah, but you said they look different, but now they're back to normal?
Correct. So they changed during the witching hour only. It wasn't something you noticed at the time, but now that you're looking at them, they were different for about an hour or so. Of course, you were busy running and such, but now that you're recalling, it's like, actually, no, yeah, these did not look this way. The general landscape also became more horrifying. It's quite obvious, actually. She's clearly not trying to hide it. Not sure if it's a curse or she was just trying to scare you.
I'm gonna whip up my phone and do a Google search.
Okay, what are you googling?
The Witch of Endor is a woman who, according to the Hebrew Bible, was consulted by Saul to summon the spirit of prophet Samuel in order to receive advice against the Philistines in battle. After prior attempts to consult God through sacred lots and prophets had failed.
This is correct.
This is a real Google, by the way.
Yes, it is.
I realized that that's the second time you specifically said Witch of Endor, and I'm like, wait a second, this must be based on truth.
Yes, not Star Wars. Star Wars is based on the Bible? What? And also, in general, you do have... Maverick, do you have the hand, or did you leave it back in the living room? Well, obviously left it in the living room.
Yeah, I kind of dropped on the floor.
investigating it. No, I picked it up. I'm currently investigating it.
You looking at it? Okay. Well, this is definitely a mystery. I will say, what is the second question you want answered, Maverick, now that you have the first one? What's being concealed?
I have no idea.
Well, it is hold, so go ahead and hold that.
Yeah.
Hold that thought, I guess.
Because, I mean, what happened here is obvious. It just changed when she came.
Yeah.
What can it do? Where did it go? What was going on? I don't think those help.
Kaiba, if you want, you can do the same regarding the hand if you wish. Alrighty, you may ask me one question.
What can it do though?
What it do though? Alrighty, Kaiba, this is a perfect question for you, as after looking at this artifact, you know what it is. This is an item that is referred to as a hand of glory. A hand of glory is a dried and pickled hand of a man who has been hanged. It is usually the left or sinister hand, or the hand that did the deed. Old European beliefs attribute great power to a hand of glory that has been combined with the candle made of the fat from the corpse of the same hangman who died on the gallows. When the fingers of the hand close around a candle and it is lit, the hand will provide certain benefits to the wielder.
What kind of benefits are we talking about? I'm sure Kaiba would know.
Indeed. You would need to
Google.
roll plus weird, so whatever Google says might also help, but it does technically have 3 effects. Basically, if you roll and succeed, you'll get to choose, and we'll say, because Kaiba is a wonderful book boy, I'll go ahead and tell you what they can do. One of them is any locked door, gate, portal, safe that is within the light of the candle will be unlocked. Any hostile person you encounter will be paralyzed as long as they gaze directly into the candle's light. If you are paralyzed, which you guys saved from that, fortunately, you don't need to worry about it. The candle can also flare up blue in the presence of a secret door or a buried treasure, and its light will reveal any invisible creature or item.
Wait, didn't the neighbor say that one of the rooms lit up blue?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Or-
light the candle. Looks like we're going on an adventure again.
My favorite.
All right.
By the way,
Yes.
how do we take care of necromancers?
The question to Kaiba?
Yeah.
I will use often right to give him advice on how to deal with necromancers. I guess. I don't know. How do you deal with necromancers?
It depends on the tier of necromancer. Some of them, if they've,
Does
you
it
know,
have a phylactery in this case?
I would say yes. Some of them would indeed have a phylactery. If they've basically attained lich-like status, you would indeed need to kill whatever their phylactery or relic or something they're holding their soul or a greater portion of their body in.
Considering
lot of the times-
she's already done the blood magic, I'm sure she does have one or something close to it at least.
Yeah, so that is fairly common. A lower tier necromancer, of course, could just be shot and killed, like any other regular cultist or something.
Well, she
but
can't be shot and killed, so she must be higher level.
correct.
In my research of the Witch of Endor, the word necromancer came up.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed.
I'm really thinking this whole house is probably her.
Big and shitty,
Yeah.
just not very fun. Fair enough.
I don't think we can burn down the house though.
It's probably protected some way.
I wonder if there's like a heart.
Which is what the candle is for.
All right.
Do I
let's
need
go.
to roll weird to make it do the find secret thing, or?
Yes, so if you're activating, I will say, we'll say once per day, you may activate the Hand of Glory. Because obviously spamming it doesn't really make any sense. So if you want, each of you, of course. So Kaiba, you just roll plus weird, and whatever you get, I'll let you know what happens. Weird. Wonderful. All right. You may choose one of those three effects I told you. Any locked door can be open,
Yes.
any hostile person
I'll
paralyzed,
First
and
go with finding the secrets. If
Okay,
you need
so-
to open it, there's probably other ways.
okay. So going for the blue light to look for secret doors.
Yes.
Alrighty. Currently, it is a somewhat green. It burns mostly like a standard candle. There's a slight green hue to it, nowhere near as bad as it was when she was holding it. But currently, it does not change or flicker. It is completely normal as you hold it to the entrance.
Do I know if it's like, well, how strong is it proximity based, basically? Do I need
You're-
to go through the entire room, or is it just
yes.
this room has a secret?
You get the feeling that if you walk within a room's proximity, that it will effectively let you know.
Right. Then I guess we'll go through the rooms one by one.
As you guys head from room to room, the candle does not react initially. As you head into the study, though, the green flame quickly turns blue.
Which room's the study? Is that the one where I tore the wall out?
No, that's the fireplace one.
Okay.
Yeah, the
The
fireplace
study
is
is
upstairs.
downstairs, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. Study is downstairs. It is basically
Right.
a library.
I
and
will
As you
actually
enter, it's a
update Maverick on the fact that when I came in, there was stuff floating.
yes, and those things are no longer floating. It seems to be a standard study as of current. Looking around a bit, the light is very calm, like a dull blue. You see many books lining the walls. A lot of them are fiction, some are non-fiction. There's light dabbling and magic and such, but nothing too crazy upon first blush.
Does it get any brighter if it goes to certain locations in the study?
Yes. So as you begin to look about, the lights begin to fade for about a moment, and then suddenly, it glows. It glows a very bright blue. As you turn the corner, you sort of move the light away, and you notice that it is glowing brightly around the back corner of the room, furthest from both entrances. It's near a collection of religious books, religious and cultist books, you see.
Are there any black books?
Nothing black, but you do notice something that sticks out to you instantly, as it sort of goes along the lines of what you guys have seen as of recently. You see the Christian Book of the Dead. Seems to stick out a little bit. It's larger than the others. Its binding is thicker.
I'll pull it out since Kai was holding the candle.
As you pull on it, you hear a ticking. And as you do, I'll have to ask both of you to act a roll under pressure. Spicy. Less than spicy.
Is this a trap?
Indeed. You have something special?
Well, I can bottle it up to give myself a bonus.
Yes, you can. How much of a bonus would you
I'll
like?
be giving myself 2, so hang on.
2? Okay. So that means I can give you -2 for something later?
This hold can be spent later, 1 for 1 to give you -1 on any move except act under pressure.
Okay. Let me take a note. That's weird.
I don't know if I want to do that yet, babe.
Okay. I'm just taking a note.
I mean, worst case scenario, or best case scenario, you get hit by something your armor protects you from.
This is true. You're a tanky
Yeah,
boy.
I'm thinking I'll take the XP.
All right. Go ahead and mark Experience Maverick. And as you pull on this book, as unfortunately you are dead center, Kaiba's able to react in time and roll out of the way. You, though, unfortunately aren't able to do so. And shrapnel completely blasts you all over. Fortunately, due to your armor, this mitigates some of the damage. Would have been 3, but instead it is just 1.
Youch.
More so, your skin is peppered with small grains and bits of metal. Some of them ingrained, but you're able to... They're not deep enough that they hit to the bones. You're actually able to kind of roll and pick some of them off, but you are indeed bleeding.
Right, traps.
Yep. Smack a bandit on it.
And after that, you hear another ticking, and then something that just kind of goes dull and dead. And the book just slowly kind of resets. You almost get the feeling this is part of something, but you're not sure what precisely. Almost as if it's a key to a key.
Like there's another part?
Yes, almost as if there's one more piece to it.
I guess I can. Does the candle react to any other locations in this room?
It primarily reacts to this one. There's clearly something hiding here, and Maverick might have indeed found the key, but there's something else missing.
Does the candle show anything?
The candle turns blue when you're near a secret, basically.
So is it turning blue over anything else?
Just here. It glows brightest here in this corner.
So either there's another book, or there is something in another room.
Correct. And in these situations, you guys can, roll to investigate mystery, look around. I will say, in general, there is a rather large painting. It is engraved, very easy to see. You know this one to be is titled the. Yes.
Can I use what is being concealed here in this room? I still have a hold.
You may, yes. I will say real quick, the painting is known as The Shade of Solomon Appears to Saul. It is a very, very large painting over what was maybe once a fireplace, but maybe not the best place to, fireplace as in a library. It was converted into basically a table set for drinking and such. It like folds out of the wall, essentially. Quite nice.
Okay.
And you're asking what's being concealed here?
Yeah.
I will say there is information being concealed here in this library. Information that can possibly help you with your case. You see a multitude of books. Some you recognize, some you don't. Kaiba, some you notice is somewhat troubling. This one here in particular, this general section, actually contains a decent amount of books that might benefit your guys' case.
Are there any books about Saul and the Witch of Endor?
Yes.
Aside from the Bible?
As you begin to look about, you actually find certain tales and such. And as you begin to flip through this book, you begin to realize something. That, though you've not read this particular volume before, there's something off about it. As you sort of flip through it, you kind of go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it almost doesn't read like a book. It's almost like there's random information and images and pictures. And you go to check like binding, you go to check the copyright, and it seems to be blank. Almost as if this is a custom-made book, false book, something along those lines. Something hidden in the pages, physically. It's not one of those kind of false books, but maybe it's a key, or it's a way to figure something out. And as you begin to sort of flip through, slowly, you notice that certain images align on the sheets. And as you turn each page, you see that subsequent images eventually align and align and align, And by themselves, the images almost look like nothing. They're very intricate and ornate shapes. Some of them are letters, like an R or a B, but they're in odd locations. The upper right corner, the middle of the page, the bottom, some are turned in strange ways, like an upside-down L, basically a 7, I guess. Sideways M's, and you notice that some of these could be Greek, Roman, other languages, but it's definitely not. There's something odd about this. It's not a complicated word puzzle. It seems to actually just be a physical puzzle. And this book is maybe 100 or so pages. But as you flip through it, Maverick, what's you see these images while they're on separate pages could potentially line up.
Gently tear the binding off, or disconnect the binding.
You can, yes. You find it if you wanted. You could either disconnect the binding or you could just rip each page out.
Ripping could ruin the edges, so I'd rather just demantle it.
Okay. You demantle the book, and you currently have about 100 or so pages, still in the same order, stacked on top of each other.
Hey, Kaiba, help me with this. I think these could make a pattern or something.
Yeah, I'll start connecting the lines.
You begin to connect the images and the lines and the edges, and with the help of Kaiba, Maverick, you actually find a map of this very house. It's strange looking, but when you take a step back, you can see it, plain as day. Alone, it made no sense, but with some overlap and moving some of them about, some cutting and some folding, you're actually able to make out the picture quite clearly when you stand and look down at this strange organization. You then see that there are certain spots that stand out more than others. And in this very room, you see that there is, we'll say effectively, in a lot of these very intricately drawn letters, numbers and such, there are certain points, certain circular spiral points that stick out. And in the center of each spiral, you see 2 lines.
What kind of lines are they?
2 lines jutting outward from the center of the spiral.
I mean, are they like just lines or like arrows of some kind?
They don't look like yes, actually they look like arrows pointing outward from the center, the circle. And there's 2 of them.
All right, so how does this match up to Kaiba's map?
It is almost 1-to-1.
Except for?
Except for there's more detail here. And this circle, the spiral pattern, is rather small in each of these drawings. You sort of noticed it before, but now that you lay them all side by side by side, you notice that there's almost 1 in each letter. And looking into this current room, matching the map, Kaiba's, you look to your left, and you see the spiral circle with the 2 outward pointing arrows is actually on the wall. It's a clock.
I will investigate the clock.
It's the largest clock in the room, actually.
Which direction are they pointing?
Each of them seem to be set to 12, or not necessarily 12, but close to 12. They're all in between. If you turn it properly, the hour is between 12 and 1.
Alright. So that's how she does it. Is it pointing towards a specific clock? Or is
No.
it like...
There seems to be, we'll say there are 6 total clocks marked on this map. And they all have slightly different configurations. You almost get the feeling that the exact configuration isn't too important as the image is small, and more so chaos, spiral, disruption is needed. But maybe only at a certain time or place. You get the feeling, Maverick, that since this book was so close to the other you pulled on, that this is maybe the second piece of the puzzle.
Clocks? The map?
Both. The map lays out exactly where each clock is. Currently standing in this room, you can only recall that it does indeed align with the 1 clock that you can see in this room.
So can
of course, there are many, but
Can
there's...
I investigate the clock?
Yes. Yeah, you walk up to it, Maverick, and you see that it is essentially the same as other clocks on the outside. It doesn't really look any different. It's somewhat larger, just slightly. It might be the biggest clock in the room. There are almost too many to tell. But other than that, it doesn't seem on the outside any different than others.
Can I open it and change the time?
You
It
know,
is clicking like everything else, right?
Yeah,
Tick,
it's
tick, ticking.
clicking just like the rest. And as you walk up to it, you notice that there is a latch preventing you from opening it, but you're able to kind of fiddle with it for a second. It pops right on open. And you do indeed see that you would, if you wished, be able to stop the clock or to realign the time in any way you wish. Doesn't seem to be stopping you from doing so.
Could try turning it back an hour.
Actually, can I see if I can banish something from the clock?
You do not feel...
Did all of the 6 of the circles show the same time actually, or?
Relatively. It'd be difficult for me to draw it real quick, but essentially you have a circle and there are 2 lines, but they're all within the same upper left-hand quadrant of the facing clock.
So it's just an approximation, basically.
Essentially, an approximation. You get the feeling that it's so minute that, Keeper speaking, I'm not asking you to turn to like 12:03. That's a bit much.
No.
But yes, the smaller hand is very clearly within the 12 to 1 period.
And what other rooms are listed?
You do indeed see one in the kitchen. I see one upstairs near the fireplace, near the living room. One's near the entrance, and you see one in what you think you remember as one of the empty rooms. I think that was 6. Regardless, you've indeed been to all these rooms, Kaiba, and you have mapped them.
Not sure what to do.
I guess I'm going to roll to investigate the mystery.
Here or elsewhere? Or like in
Here,
general?
Basically just see what was it going to do with the time. Is this just a way of keeping herself alive or something?
Sure, yeah, you can check it.
Clocks up, actually.
Alrighty, looking at all the clues you have now, Kaiba, you get the feeling that you need to strike when the witch is both at her strongest and at her weakest. You get the feeling that whether she wrote this intentionally, unintentionally, someone after put this together, it's difficult to tell. But you get the feeling that these clocks either need to be changed or disrupted or interacted with in some way, shape, or form during the witching hour. And that will be the key to her destruction. This was a hidden message from someone. Hard to tell who, but someone left this behind.
Yes.
It has to be done at the witching hour?
During.
So...
When she's both her strongest and her weakest.
So what if we reround the time and then stopped it?
I mean, I would not try it right now.
You want to try it during the witching hour? Like tomorrow night? Tonight, I guess? After?
Well, I first want to investigate the rest of the house.
Oh, that's fair.
Because we haven't even been to the attic yet.
Okay.
The spooky attic. Have we even seen a staircase leading to the attic?
Not an open staircase. It would be one of the pull-down types. It is rather large. You guys didn't... I wouldn't say ran into it, but you did make note of it while you were walking around. Unfortunately, a certain someone interrupted your exploration.
Go explore the rest of the rooms. With the camel.
All right. As you...
And I also want to check if it reacts to the traps, actually.
As you begin to walk around, Kaiba, you make note, while both using your notes and the other. Double checking exactly the phrasing on the hand. When you look around, compare the maps, and you do indeed see there's a clock in the approximate location, has been untouched, that lines up with your map and the strange circular spirals. and you make note of these clocks. I don't know if you guys want to physically mark them or just make a mental note. It's up to you.
We could probably physically mark them.
Okay.
Yeah,
How are we doing that?
I'm sure we have something with us to, I don't know, mark it.
Anything fancy,
Oh,
Maverick?
yeah.
Marker.
Yeah, I have one of those
Knife.
fancy marker things that you remember in Doom when they were marking the X's on the doors?
Okay.
I have one of those.
Okay. Sorry, fancy marker thing could be anything. Sticky notes? Yes, those.
I'm just gonna do a big fat circle around it.
Okay.
Or maybe arrows pointing to it. I don't know.
Sure. We'll say however you do this, Maverick, you have something that can assist you in marking, whether you put an X on them or an arrow or you circle it or something. It is very clear which clocks need to be tampered with. And
Maybe
as
we
you guys...
should somehow prevent the monster from being able to touch those as well. Just in case. I don't know,
You
can we sprinkle
mean-
them with salt?
Sure. Salt might help.
You guys are relatively low on salt, but if you come back the next day, you should indeed have enough to... what's your intent? To like put salt on them or...
Yeah, I mean, do something to prevent the ghost from touching the notepads at all.
Okay.
The note gamblers.
Yeah, seeing as they're relatively large clocks, we'll say of the 6, you can mark 2. You'll need to come back later with more salt.
Yeah, okay. Damn, I brought 3 entire salt shakers and they're all gone.
Get a salt magnet and collect everything you dropped. All right, we'll say you guys do indeed make it to the second floor, and
I do
It's a-
think
it's a
Maverick
s-
needs to get himself some rock salt shotgun shells.
Yeah, apparently.
spicy. Looking about, you do get the feeling as if, for now, Zenobia's resting. You don't feel as if anyone's watching you, touching you, or really looking at you. So you guys do have about an hour or two of, I don't want to say the word silence, but relative peace. Minus the ceaseless ticking of all the clocks. And as you move upward to the second floor, you do find that some strength is required, Maverick, but not too hard of a task for you to pull down this attic stair. It's somewhat shoot, what's the word? The pistons on it that like prevent it from slamming down.
Hydraulics?
Hydraulics. There we go. It has like an old school hydraulic on it, so that once you pull it, it sort of sets down into space. But you need to apply a little bit of strength to kind of get it down. You get the feeling that people don't go up here often. I can't imagine why. And as you ascend up into the attic, it is surprisingly relatively dark. The moon is indeed out tonight, but its light does not bless you through the window across the way. You see boxes, as I assume you flashing your light or everything.
And,
Oh, yeah.
You light your torch
Yeah.
and
Excellent.
hand.
and the hand, of course. The light of the hand and Maverick's torch light the room. And as you look about, it seems to primarily be a room of study, a room of storage. It looks like as if she might have done something up here in the past, but most likely the other residents have not touched. It's relatively roomy. You probably could have kept someone up here. You probably could have done things up here. I wouldn't say host a party or anything, but
Blood on the floor.
it's roomy enough. No blood, not that you see. There might have been in the past.
Are there any clocks here?
There are a few clocks in the attic. In fact, there are the fewest amount of clocks up here. They are just as ornate, same antique design, but there are nowhere near as many. Looking around, the light doesn't seem to spark too bright. It seems to be maybe there was once something here, but currently there's not. Mostly abandoned.
So that blue light isn't lighting up anything?
Nothing here now.
Can I take a peek in some of the boxes?
You may. You see some old dresses, some old photo frames. You see more china, some books. Once again, just as, if not less, interesting than what you found in her library. But nothing too concerning, Maverick, until you move over to another box. in which you find, initially, more dresses. But you notice as you sort of move and bump into the box, it's heavier than it should be. Significantly heavier than it should be. And you carefully move some of the dresses over to the side, only to find a layer of cardboard separating the top from the bottom of the box. Relatively easy to move. It's not locked in place or anything. As you scoot that over to the side, find a row of knives. Daintily placed in a felt-rimmed case.
Is there anything mystical about them?
These aren't cooking knives. They're large. These are meant for
Do they
cutting.
look like ritual knives?
Yes, these are meant for gutting, cutting. These are not knives of an artist or a chef. These are knives meant to hurt someone. They serve one purpose.
All right, well, I'm taking those out of this house and giving them to my boss.
Okay. Are you storing them in your pack, or...?
Yeah, I'll store them in my pack for now.
Okay. They're about the size of relatively large hunting knives. But considering you guys aren't currently running from anything, I won't say they weigh you down, but putting knives in a pack is not the safest. And taking the entire...
I mean, I can put them in my truck when we get back downstairs. So.
Of course, yeah. You're moving relatively carefully with 6 knives out. We can say you wrap them in the dresses or something.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
weren't they in a box?
They're in a... Well, yes, but the box is, like...
Oh, the box is huge?
Not huge, but they are placed side by side. There's a good portion, like 6, 7 of them. So it would be maybe, 12 inches across. About 8 inches tall.
The box?
It looks like a display case.
Is the display case sturdy enough to pick up?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. It's felt lined, glass case on the top. You can take off the glass and look inside.
Well, then I'd prefer to keep them in the box.
Sure, yeah. A big man like you can carry it with one hand. Just be careful with it.
Especially going down the
Nice and
stairs.
safe.
Yes. Yeah, and unfortunately, they are indeed stairs that go down back to the second floor. Not a ladder. We're not for all
Oh.
the clocks and the murder. This would actually be a pretty nice house.
Eh,
I don't know. I'm thinking even when we de-ghost this place, I'm thinking it probably needs to be burned down anyway because there's like too
the
much
clocks
ghost
definitely need to go,
creepy-
and the traps, and
cootie
everything
play
else.
like things in here.
Not a fan of cootie things.
All right, was there
Uh,
anything else in the attic?
I'm
nothing?
going to move around some boxes and take a closer look at the floor.
Sure. Looking at the floor, Kabi, you see some scratch marks. You see also some holes that were once drilled into the floor. Something heavy was most likely dragged along here. Something was screwed in as well, but it's difficult to tell precisely what. There's a somewhat rectangular shape that is pressed into the wood. Most likely something that was placed here long ago and then removed. It left its mark.
Something heavy.
Something relatively heavy, yeah. Something heavy or bolted down very,
Is it-
very tightly.
Match the dimensions of the sacrificial table we found.
Relatively, but it's different.
Like smaller, bigger.
Smaller. Some of the drag marks seem more like scratch marks. It's difficult to tell entirely. But there is definitely something up here.
So going back to the weird displaced plants in the garden. What position were they relative to the house?
Directly next to the library. Essentially right outside the window.
Interesting. There's definitely something there.
Oh, I'm clueless as to the connection.
I mean, we can go out and investigate more, I guess. Hit my library again. Get another +1 to investigate the mystery.
Anywhere else you guys want to look at before you head out?
Mm, I don't think so.
All right. Well, if you guys want to head back to your haven, your base, just let me know. And we can indeed do that. You guys can come back here whenever you'd like. The door is currently open. As I mentioned, the malicious force seems to be resting as of current.
All right. Yeah, we can go back. I think I will send a text to our would-be renter
Okay.
to
What
let
do you
him
tell him?
know that yeah, there's something wrong with the house, and we'd like to stay another night.
Okay. He says, "Gladly, I will not be returning for another night. Once again, thank you."
Thumbs up.
We'll say you get this at a reasonable time, not like 2 in the morning. Yeah. He returns with a thumbs down emoji, and then just like, oh wait, and then a thumbs up emoji. So sorry.
Damn keyboard.
He's trying.
I'm actually gonna take a picture of the knives and the ritual table.
Okay.
And do I want to take a picture of the book? Well, might as well.
Sure. We'll say
the Bible thingy.
yeah. We'll say everything of note you guys were able to document. Technology didn't act up or anything. It, you double check everything seems to be just fine. And with that, are we heading back to our little base?
Yes.
Alrighty. We'll say about 3 or so in the morning, we pack back up into Maverick's truck and head back to your haven or somewhere else.
The Haven.
May I ask if and when you guys are deciding to rest?
I'd like to do it at the Haven.
Okay.
Just a quick cat nap.
With how this game works, when you rest, as long as you are not bleeding out, which neither of you are, you heal for 1. Each of you go ahead.
Sweet.
Each of you go ahead and do that. You should be 2 harm. Maverick and Kaiba should be good. Heck yeah, boy. Alrighty. I'll just put you guys here for Haven territory so we don't need to jump maps. And that is currently unnecessary. Alrighty. Heading to your Haven, Kaiba, and Maverick. What did the 2 of you research and look into?
Necromancers.
Necromancers. What precisely?
Well, I mean, first I want to verify that it's actually a necromancer, if possible at all.
Looking through your
Or,
books and
well,
such, you
What's the closest thing that matches, basically?
yes, looking through your books and such, you get a very strong feeling that yes, she is indeed, I will say, somehow ascended to some sort of ghostly aberration that feeds off of the life of others. And she definitely, from what you gathered, from how you've attacked her, from how you've assaulted her, what she's been weak to and such, she has a weakness. I won't say a weak point, but a weakness. She's most likely placed herself, a part of herself, her soul, her corpse, something, somewhere. And it's in the house. It's close by. With your research, Kaiba, you realize that if she were truly horrifyingly strong, and while she did cause you pain, she wasn't, we'll say, in the big leagues just yet. So her body would need to be close by. You guys are
I do
definitely on the right
something
track.
with this to, I don't know, find her phylactery or otherwise damage it.
Let me see. What can I share with you on that? Alright, let's see. Regarding that. Okay, you do indeed know that holy magics indeed disturb her. Nothing will outright stop her, especially if enraged. At least you're not 100% sure. While she seemed, I'll say, disturbed by the holy imagery and angel assault, you get the feeling that she could have bypassed it if she wished, and more so just chose to target. Because of this, stocking up on those items would be good, but there's nothing in particular she's weak to. It's more so you need to find this phylactery and destroy it. But yes, bringing holy instruments would be most beneficial.
Would destroying it be easy enough, or do we need something special for that?
Considering you haven't seen it,
Yeah, like the body itself.
yeah, considering you haven't seen it, you're not sure.
Can we
But-
burn her like a witch?
Gauging what you know, that could indeed work.
Maybe
Physical
that's a dream. She might be a banshee, you know.
physical trauma might actually work just fine as long as you have enough of it.
So
Fortunately,
just
Maverick, you have
make sure I have my hammer on hand.
that and your multitude of weapons. That plus whatever Kaiba can
Pre-bless
provide.
it, I guess.
Yeah, so whatever Kaiba can provide. We can say you noticed the holy shotgun shells work very well, Maverick, but blessing them mid-combat wasn't necessarily the best, and the other two you didn't fire have returned back to normal. So with Kaiba's assistance, you could probably get around 3. So if you want to roll on that, I'll say you can probably get 3 more blasts, Maverick, that will last, not forever, but for multiple days.
4 hours.
Would she
Oh,
be
multiple
affected
days.
by
Yes, as long as you roll
Silver.
high enough.
Yeah, we should be affected by silver.
Silver would have some effect, but not to the degree that it would cause her to just like lose her shit.
Yeah, more so I have a silver sword.
So yes, it would be good, and it would definitely affect her. Not to a degree
If
where
I enchant it, would it be double effective?
yes, if you enchant it with some sort of holy remedy. So we'll say,
So would I be able to say that I have holy water in stock that I can bless it with or something?
Oh, definitely.
that would make sense.
That would be in your armory, right?
Yeah. So for rolls
Potentially.
on armory, is it just armory, or do you have another one too?
In this case, armory. I do have magical laboratory, but that's for spells mainly.
We'll say go ahead and roll on this, and I'll tell you how much of the stuff you have. There should be plus weird. Awesome. Okay. So you have it, but only a minimum amount. So we'll say you're currently on you. We'll say you have enough for a total of, and you can distribute this how you will. We'll say 2 shots with Maverick's shotgun, and for each shot you don't wish to give to Maverick, that can be 2 attacks on your sword. So you can effectively turn it into like an oil that can bless your weapon, and that'll be 2 physical attacks as opposed to 1 shotgun. So you can distribute that how you wish. So basically, you can have 1 shot, you can have 2 attacks, or you can have 4 attacks. Up to you.
I mean, I feel like my sword is kind of a last case scenario, but at the same time,
How much damage does your sword do?
2.
My shotgun does 3.
I also have a magnum that does 3, but
Yeah, however you apply this, we'll say it does +1. Wherever
Well,
you choose to put it.
I mean, can we quickly get our hands on rock salt shotgun shells?
I would say a few. To
And
the
would we
degree
be able to bless
wish you-
those, actually?
Yeah, to the degree at which you need them. If you guys have anything you can roll, do you have any powers, Maverick?
no.
Nothing that assists with that? We'll say you guys can spend the day getting like two or 3 of those. And you know they'd be sufficient enough to shoot it far and wide enough without just completely blowing up the salt.
You might be able to contact your organization for that, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I could do help or gear. Yeah, do with the agency requesting help or gear. Shall I roll?
You want to link it? Yes, let me see that one real quick. Yeah, throw that at me.
And I get a +1 ongoing, right?
For what? Or from what?
From that thing demons used.
That
If
was
you ask me for advice, yes.
that was specifically for dealing with the witch, like fighting her dead on. So it's basically for that
alright.
one specific situation. Yeah.
I mean, you could ask me again, I guess, because it's unlimited as far as I know, but
Alright, on
Effectively?
this, I screwed up. I might be suspended or under investigation or just in the doghouse. I always fail these.
I've noticed that. You do have your other skill if you want to use that, though. Up to
What
you.
other skill?
your push it, right? They can be used for anything.
Bottle up is for act under pressure.
Oh, only act under pressure. Never mind. Okay, well then, unfortunately,
XD.
yep, mark experience.
That doesn't make any sense. I'm literally asking for some special bullets and I screwed up.
Well, you also have a lot of red tape,
You know what? I give my phone the finger.
Maverick. That's fair. Well, we'll say maybe you called the wrong field person, someone that doesn't like you for whatever reason,
God damn it, just my luck.
and instantly you not chew them out necessarily, but you get off on the wrong foot like almost immediately in the phone call, and maybe they ask you to, oh yeah, make sure you fill out this form and this form and this form. And you're like, I need it now, and they're like, oh yeah, no, sorry. So basically, a cold shoulder due to litigation and all other fun bullshit.
Angrily bit my phone closed, and then I'm like, God, Margot's having all the issues too. Maybe it's time to leave. Sorry, man, I can't get those bullets from the agency, so we gotta get them the hard way.
Oh well.
It's worth a try.
Yeah, so I say in terms of how many you have, you do realize that regular damage so far has been indeed working on her. Doesn't kill her, but it does slow her and slowly deteriorate her physical astral form, whatever it may be.
I mean, did those salt balls hurt her before, or did they just stop her from coming closer?
Considering how small they were, they disrupted her for a moment.
I guess
Did
I
it-
can stock up on lots of salt.
Did it look like it hurt her?
Ish. I say it more annoyed her than anything else.
So did the holy hurt her more?
I think that actually, primarily because you used a holy spell to lock her down, that did seem more effective. Yes.
I mean, what would
Salt
happen if we
in
just
large quantities definitely works.
try to big magic sanctify the entire house at once?
You mean like exercise the house with holy magic?
Basically. I'm sure it'll have some kind of effect, but
We could, but big magic requires extra people.
for a house, probably yes.
Traditionally requires a lot. Yes. Definitely an option, but messing with big magic is very dangerous.
Yeah, we need a priest too. Do we know any priests?
You could probably get your hands on one if you needed to.
I mean, the organization probably knows a few priests, right?
I would say so.
Yeah, I would
The-
think so.
The best I can do is find some big occult people, but they would probably steal the tablets. ritual stone.
So do we want to try that? It's gonna be awkward to try it in the day. It's gonna be awkward to try it at night. All those nosy neighbors.
Probably not. With a nosy neighbor.
Let me help, please.
We can do it inside, right? It
I
doesn't
mean,
have to be
we
outside.
could ask them to help.
All right. Well, how many people do we need for big magic?
It varies. I would say for
That's probably not the best idea anyway. honestly.
yeah, I would say in general for doing this, you get the feeling that this wouldn't exorcise her. It would probably only stun her or slow her for some time, even if you have sufficient people, and you need to be there at a certain time, and you need to indeed be in the building. It would require a lot of preparation and a lot of basically banging around where you don't belong. So she'll definitely fight back.
All right, then let's see if we can just kill her the quick and dirty way.
We also don't exactly know yet what we need to do, aside from be in the study at the witching hour.
Yeah.
So regarding the holy items, did you want to give Maverick 2 shots? 1 shot, you get 2 slashes.
Give me 2 shots.
Damn, Maverick.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
I'm
Shot.
the one who should be in melee, so
I mean, if I'm getting attacked, then you're doing something wrong.
exactly.
This is true.
Describing me as a bodyguard was technically accurate.
Sure. Go ahead and jot down that you have 2 of those, Maverick, and we'll say you have 1 good salt shot. Like good.
2
Say holy shot,
holy.
and then say 1 salt shot.
Wait. 2 blessed.
Yeah.
Shotgun shells. And 1 salt shot?
Yeah, and it's a good. You know for a fact it will work. You guys have gathered up enough. It takes a while to put it together, but yes. What
Can
do
I
you
do
guess?
a salt grenade?
Salt grenade? You have grenades on you?
No, but I could have.
Technically, when you level, do you get more equipment or no?
No.
Oh. Well, that probably would have been you talking to the agency.
God damn. All right, 1 salt shot. Is
What
it
we
kind
need
of
is a holy hand grenade.
a holy hand grenade?
Yeah.
All right, so is the shotgun a shotgun shell or
Hmm?
the salt shot? You
Yeah.
mean a shotgun shell?
It's like a slug, yeah.
Okay.
And
It's a literal theft from Supernatural.
never seen the show, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Never seen it either.
That's a long show. I'm
Yeah,
sure they've done it.
They have rock salt bullets.
Yeah, I could very much see that. If it works, it works. And keep in mind, Maverick, with how the system works, when you shoot, you 99% of the time are going to hit unless it's a really, really weird situation. So these essentially cannot be wasted.
All
You,
right.
you don't need to worry about rolling and then missing and going, well, there goes that.
I mean, I'm bringing plenty of salt and other holy objects I can,
Yeah.
well, easily find, I guess. Crucifixes.
All right, well, we'll say you bring just that, plenty of holy stuff. Maverick has his 3 shots. You guys heal up a bit. You rest. And whatever time you want to arrive at the building, just let me know.
Well, we need a bunch of time to prepare, so.
Sure, just let me know exactly what you guys are doing. And when you get there.
I mean, what are we preparing? Because we can do some preps in the room, right? In the house.
I mean, I did bring a shit ton of salt for a specific reason. I'm going to salt every single doorway.
Okay.
Just to make it hard for her to move around, basically.
Sure.
So then, yeah, we have to do it inside the house.
Okay.
Let's go around. Let's see. We do want light to do the preps, so maybe 3 or 4
3 for what?
p.m.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, we'll say regardless. You guys do indeed arrive at the Zenobia estate. You'll have enough time to salt every door, every entrance. Are you doing the windows as well, or just...
Might as
Also the
well.
windows, yeah.
Okay, also the windows.
I'm also going to make sure that the windows are not opened, but the curtains are up, basically.
So that natural light can get in?
Yeah.
Perfect, okay. So the blinds are open then.
Yes.
And besides... Oh, so all the clocks are marked. All the doors and such are
Blocked.
salted out, if you will.
Yes,
because
I'm also going to not close the door, but keep them open and blocked so we can easily run through.
Excellent. All right. Unfortunately, when you guys re-enter the estate, the few hours you had of... Well, the few clockless hours you had were quite nice.
Never knew I hated clocks so much.
As you enter the estate again, just instantly. Ah, God. Not wait to be over this.
Honestly,
Obvious.
we should really see what happens if we stop the clocks.
I'm up for that. I can take
Say-
a sledgehammer to one.
In general, you guys do
Well,
have time.
I was thinking less destructive stop them, but
I
specifically
twitched.
the
know.
6 big ones. But
I don't know if I could do it without not destroying it.
who knows? Maybe they'll just stop.
Just scream at them.
Exactly.
Please stop ticking. You're very annoying.
You're driving me a little cuckoo.
So are you like walking up to a clock and trying to like physically stop it, or?
I would say the 6 specific clocks that were marked.
I will say you notice when you walk up to them, you're able to unlatch them. You tinker with the time, but you feel no feedback. Upon touching them, though, a maliciousness does grow in the room, and you feel a chill run down your spine. The more of them you touch, the more you mess with, the more you feel like you're being watched.
Well, she definitely doesn't like that.
I would say you do the feeling that nothing has necessarily triggered just yet. But
did I change the time of them, or?
the time did change. Kaiba, are you doing this by yourself, or is Maverick joining?
I assume he's in the room watching.
Yeah, I'll join.
Okay. Are you doing the same clocks? You're just watching, or like, what exactly are you doing? I
I
guess.
mean, he's targeting the 1 clock, so it has to be that 1 clock.
Yeah. Essentially, you tinker with them. You move the hands around. You don't necessarily hear anything. They give way quite easily. You're able to kind of close the glass paneling and then walk over to the next one. Besides the horrible feeling, yet nothing, no sound, nothing physically changes. We'll say after all the salt has been set, if you guys got here around 3 or 4, it's probably 5, 6. It's starting to get dark. We'll say you have about 6 hours till the witching hour, which is a lot of time.
So what happened with the clocks exactly?
Nothing, effectively.
It made me feel bad.
And thinking that, Maverick, you kind of go, huh, and you walk back to double check them, and you notice they've actually automatically reset back to their proper time. Looking at the clock next to it, above it, around it, they all seem to be on the exact proper time.
All right.
Something reset them.
Did that happen with regular clocks too?
Is this a me question or a Cap question?
I will fiddle with another clock.
Oh,
and
okay.
See if that happens.
You fiddle with another clock. You watch it or walk away?
I will walk away.
Walk away. And upon coming back, Maverick, it has not changed.
So now there's a loud, consistent tick, 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 and then a very tiny tick, tick, tick.
Yes,
That's out of place and discordant now.
there's one that's now out of place.
Oh God, what have I done?
Right. So now we go stop every other clock, but not the ones, the 6 specific.
You get the feeling that's not the case, but you could if you wanted.
No,
That
please,
sounds like a terrible idea.
please don't.
We would be here for a week.
All right, so I say we settle down, have a nice attempted relax, and wait for 12 o'clock.
As much as you can relax in this house, yes.
You choose to relax inside or outside?
I want the
probably-
study, that special room.
Yeah, probably in the study. I mean,
Alrighty.
right before the witching hour, it's probably best if we start magicking up or start, what's the name? Barring the place.
Sure. I will say the later and later it gets, the sense of dread and maliciousness slowly grows. And you do indeed get the feeling that you are being watched. Almost as if toying with you. The two of you sitting on the couch as you hear a slide of leather on leather as a book is slowly pushed off the shelf and thumps to the floor.
I approach which book?
But you what?
I approach which book?
You approach, looking at the text quickly. You're not really sure if there's any relevance, but certain passages jump out to you almost instantly. You can see this is a sort of medical examination, or looking through and identifying the organs of a corpse.
A corpse or a specific corpse?
Corpses in general, like a doctrine manual, very clinical. While you're putting that one away, Kaiba, you hear another book slide free, clatter to the floor.
And what was this one titled?
The title of this one is The Southbound Slasher. This is fiction. And in this book,
Ooh, scary.
a very particular passage, you've heard of this book in your time. Maybe a little lowbrow. It is quite gruesome in its depictions of how its victims are torn limb from limb. Maybe not your taste, Kaiba. Do you put the book away or just leave it there?
I just start reading it.
As you read it, a somewhat playful laughter dances through the
I will
halls.
like half out loud read it,
The laughter
like
goes,
mockingly.
yeah, the laughter goes slightly louder.
Especially the gruesome scenes, basically.
Maverick, how do you respond to this?
I'm listening quite intently.
All right, and as Kyber reads this wonderful crime thriller, time passes.
Kaiba has a very nice narration voice.
And as it does, 11
It
o'clock.
almost sounds like a big brother reading a bedtime story for a little brother. You know? Weird memories.
I'm oddly comforted. It's very strange.
11 o'clock rolls around as 11 dong, bong, bong, bongs are rung out throughout the halls. You know you have an hour remaining. And she's seemingly playing with you. Books have ceased to fall. Clearly you're unfazed by that. But you do get pockets of cold dancing throughout the room. And you almost feel as it grows later and later, a breath on your neck. Nails dancing across the hairs on your arm. Something touching your ear. And you can almost see the furniture start to dance. The faint outline begins to manifest and form and move about. You see one of the couches across the way begin to float in its spectral form. It's closer and closer to 12. What are the two of you do?
You said a spectral version of the couch starts floating?
Correct. It's faint. Difficult to see, but it's indeed there.
What time is it exactly now?
I'll say it's about 11:45. Sorry.
I mean, I'm gonna get my shotgun ready.
Okay.
One thing we forgot to do is time sight in this room, actually.
We forgot to what?
Observe another place of time in this room.
Oh, that is true. We have 15 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, how long would it take?
Depends how well you roll. Shouldn't take too long, though.
Sure. Sure. It's not great.
Can I help?
Oh,
Can I
please
help?
do.
Help, 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 help.
Oh. Darn. Okay.
What, were you hoping I was gonna fail?
Oh, something nasty would have happened if you failed.
He was probably hoping to pull me back into time mechanics.
Oh, that would have been so bad. Oh, God. 15 minutes from her popping out. Holy shit. Okay. Crisis averted. Ooh, boy, that could have been bad. Oh, my God.
Let's see.
Oh, my
Maybe
brain just started
a
rushing.
glitch.
Yes, what is the glitch, and how do you assist Maverick?
I help him concentrate.
I mean, I could make it spicy and just make her appear now.
I mean, you have to pick a glitch from the list. So if
Yes,
the DM wants to make him appear, then yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
the bottom two could very much be that, yes.
Exactly. I mean, she wouldn't be strong, but it would be very problematic.
This is indeed true. Whatever's most fun, go for it.
Margot likes it, draws immediate unwelcome attention.
Yes, she, every time you're like, what's the worst that could happen? Okay. Cracks knuckles.
She's gonna kill the bad stuff anyway.
This is true.
I would probably go with shortened duration again, so I don't see the important part.
What precisely are you looking for and when?
Basically, what look 20 years back to when the ghost lady, what's her name, was here.
Zenobia.
Zenobia.
Yeah.
Zenobia. Basically, what did she do in this room? Specifically in that corner. If that's possible, please.
Putting down the book, Kaiba, and focusing. You look into the past. 20 or so years, and this indeed takes some time focusing, about 5 minutes or so. Maverick assists you as you move your hands throughout space in front of you and open a portal to the past. With Maverick assisting, he can see with you. It's somewhat blurred, but all the same, the image is there. And after you finish your incantations, the two of you open your eyes, pure white, but seeing into the beyond, into the then. And you see Zenobia walking through her arcane library, putting away certain books, moving things around, reading. And as she picks up a very particular book from the table you recognize to be the same that is in front of you. It is the Black Book. She walks to the corner of the room, where she pulls on the same book you all did yesterday, last night. And as she does, you hear 6 extra clicks. And as you do, you see the books part way and shift. This is both mechanical and magical in nature, but a secret entrance is revealed. She looks over her shoulder, knowing she's alone, but still somewhat, maybe paranoid. Maybe she wants something to say. She looks your way. I'm not sure if she sees you or she's just looking around. But she snaps her head back. And with somewhat girlish giggle, she descends the steps to a hidden alcove. And the passageway closes. And when it does, you're brought back to the now, the present. And your eyes readjust.
The time on the clock?
The clock
Was
behind
too blurry.
the large one?
Yeah.
You can see that during that time, the clock did not match the others. It wasn't specific, but it was slightly off, fast by about 10 minutes. So if the rest were, say, 12:10, it was 12.
So we should get ready to change it once the witching hour happens?
You get the feeling that is probably what you should do.
Alright. Can I, was the panel easy to open?
Panel? Oh, for the clock?
Yeah.
Yes, it was very, actually.
Am I suspicious that she would, perma-close it like she does the doors?
You're not sure, but you get the feeling that that might indeed be the case.
Can I open the panel and, yank it off?
You can. You're using, I would assume because Maverick is Maverick, probably more force than is necessary, not really caring how it looks.
Yeah.
Alright, you deface one of her clocks. Again, a shiver dances down your spine, Maverick.
Was it plastic or glass?
Oh, it's glass. These are all
will,
very high quality.
I will smash it onto the floor.
Alright, you smash it onto the floor and you actually hear somewhat of a growling. It's deep and angry.
That's right, little lady. We're on to you.
You have maybe 5 minutes or so
Now I'm worried if we need to change the time on all the other clocks as well.
remaining.
I bet we do.
It's about 11:55.
But we'd need 4 other people for that.
Probably.
Are you changing it now, Maverick, or are you just waiting?
I'm gonna wait. It's just gonna change back.
Alright, you wait in front of the clock, Kaiba.
I guess I'll try and change it a minute before.
Okay.
I guess we could get a bit more time by trying to banish her from this room, or banish ghosts from this room in general. Spectres.
Do you want the honor? Or shall I try?
I mean, I do have a +1 to weird.
Then you can try.
Not that that helped me last time, actually, but you know.
Hey, I failed with +2s, don't worry.
Statistically
magic.
lower, but it doesn't happen. Alrighty. What will be
It's
your,
2 cents.
your glitch, my friend?
Well, I do want it to last slightly longer. time is it currently?
I will say it's about 11:56.
You know what? Let her come 4 minutes early. It's fine. It draws immediate unwelcome attention.
Okay. And what precisely are you trying to accomplish with the spell?
I want to keep her specifically out of this room.
Out of this room. Okay. As you focus, Kaiba, it takes you about a minute or so to cast the spell. So 56, 57, 58. As you finish your incantation, Maverick is waiting. And in about a minute, he will change the time on your clock.
Yeah. I want to do it like a minute before midnight hits.
Sure.
Or I guess 30 seconds before, because I can change it like, whoop.
Sure thing. So that time comes around, Maverick. You need to change the clock. Kaiba, your incantation is finished. And you get the feeling while she will not stay out of this room for too long, you guys will indeed have a moment to yourselves. The room grows colder and darker, almost as if a tint is forming on the windows to prevent any onlookers. Nothing in, nothing out. All the lights fade ever so slightly. You still have the Hand of Glory on you?
I do.
Is it lit?
Not currently.
Alright. It might be your imagination, but the hand grips the candle slightly. You're a cracking of bone. You're not sure if it's you
Definitely her hand.
tightening your hand around it, or
It's
it's
possible.
some sort of strange reaction. Looking around, listening, you hear nails scratching on wood. You hear laughter again. And a pause.
Portrait in this room, right?
There's what?
Was there a portrait in this room?
Indeed, very large one.
Did it change anything?
Is it changing? Like
It
currently
is-
in the middle of?
Currently, slowly changing. It was a painting of the shade of Samuel appearing to Saul, King Saul. And off to the side, you see various individuals that are not necessarily the focus of this painting. But as time changes, Maverick, you push the hands forward, I assume?
Yeah.
Alright. Just before the witching hour hits, you push the hands forward and they do not adjust. You feel as if a force is attempting to do so, but is barred. And Kaiba, you can feel this force pushing up against whatever barrier you have erected. So successful for now.
Can I? So wait, it did move or didn't move?
Did not move.
Can I move the other direction?
Yeah, no, you moved it. It wasn't moved back. But yes, you are indeed able to move it, Maverick.
Okay.
Yes, I said you felt a force attempting to move it back.
Oh, okay, okay. So
Yeah.
I was successful in moving it despite the force.
Correct. Whatever force this is currently barred. Kaiba is indeed barring it. And as you glance at that large canvas portrait, you see the scene grow grisly. Skin is peeled back from the individuals. Someone in the back that was watching slowly walks closer and closer. You see a beautiful woman. Or she would be, if it weren't for the ugly smile plastered across her face. It's full of hate. And she looks at you. She looks at the individuals in the painting. And they fall to their knees. You can't hear them screaming. They're scratching at their faces, drawing blood, tearing flesh from bone. They're trying to pull something out of themselves. She smiles and gets closer and closer, almost encompassing the entire painting. As you see Kaiba for a moment, you're not sure if your incantation worked. She pushes up against the painting, her hand bending and molding it, but it stops. She looks shocked for a moment. And she looks to you, and interest dances across her eyes and her lips.
I smiled back at her.
You more so feel the laughter than hear it.
Can I go and touch the book now to open up the door?
As you rush over to...
Is it already 12? Like, really 12? Or
As she pushes, yes, all the clocks in unison being wrong 12 times.
make sure you stand to the side when you touch the book, I guess.
And as
oh,
of
yeah,
current,
thanks for that.
she is unable, she is unable to push her way in. And you see a flit of anger dance across her eyes as she moves away from the painting. And you hear something, a banging, a scratching in other rooms. She's moving about and attempting to do God knows what. But something malicious indeed. Maverick, you move to the book and you pull it. And it clicks and it ticks. Remembering that there's a trap here, you move out of the way ahead of time. And some shrapnel does indeed fire, but does not strike you. Good call, Kaiba. You don't hear as many clicks as you should, though. It's 5 clicks short as the book resets.
God,
The passageway is not open.
At the same time.
You then look at the clock that you set, Maverick, and it has not changed. It is the time you set it to. It is still ticking forward in time, but it is the wrong time.
Keep concentrating, and I will run to the rooms.
Maverick, you rush out into the other rooms, and as you do, you get the feeling that someone was waiting for you to come out here.
Of course.
Very happily. All right, Mr. Good Sir. Where dost thou go? Where are you headed?
I want the nearest room to the next clock.
Nearest room to the next clock? Sure. You would need to basically run straight to the entrance then. That would make the most sense.
That works for me.
All right. And as you do, you're not sure if she was, planning on you being somewhere else or something. It's difficult to tell. But as you enter this main foyer, Maverick, you see your clock that was marked. And what do?
I dash over to it.
Okay, and?
Attempt to gently pull the door open.
You're able to do so.
Change it.
All right, you quickly move the hands, and as you do, your
Don't
entire...
have to be the exact same size. Time, I mean.
No, but as you move it, you actually hear something different this time. Now that it's during the witching hour, you hear something behind the clock click into place. And as it does, you see the figure standing in the hallway. Click, 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 her head and her neck as she locks eyes with you, Maverick. The malicious grin cuts across her face as she sees you.
Shotgun.
Shotgun's out. What do?
Pow and run.
She dashes towards you. Roll attack under pressure.
Under pressure.
Excellent. You see that the salt barriers that you have erected slow her down, and it's almost as if she's pushing through some thick gelatinous material that you cannot see. It stops her for but a moment, but all the same, she cannot interact with this line, so she's slowed, moving from room to room. Slowed just enough for Maverick to fill her with salt, you said? Or your
Yeah, I'll do the salt one first.
All right, you fire off your salt blast, and in doing so, you strike her heartily. Yes, Zenobia is assaulted. She howls out in pain, scratching at her flesh. You see her actually remove, almost in her haste, a massive portion of the skin covering her skull. And it's a horrifying sight to see as her
please
flesh...
Stop! You're getting uglier.
As her flesh begins to slowly inch and grow back onto her face like a mold.
Can I yell, aim for the head?
Yes, you can.
I'm not sure if that counts as giving advice, but...
Maverick feels empowered while Kaiba is focusing on his spell. Any attacks or anything you do against her, Maverick, going forward, will indeed have a +1.
All right, can I get to the next clock?
Where are you headed? She's standing in the hallway to the dining room.
Opposite direction?
Gonna go around this way, basically?
Yeah.
Run through the study, basically?
Yeah.
All right, you
Wasn't there
get the...
also one upstairs?
Yes. You want to run upstairs?
I am trying to do this. Yeah, go upstairs. I want to
Okay.
go in a way that won't corner myself.
Sure. I will say, while going upstairs, there is
Like
indeed a
going upstairs.
railing. There's a railing where you can look over the stairs. So it's not just a straight, wall stairs going up. You can, after you get up there, there's a
You can
nice...
jump down.
Effectively, yes. There's a nice railing where you can look down and see the full entrance. As you dash up the stairs, you actually notice that Zenobia is stunned. Angrily, you can hear her flesh splorching and just tearing as she's digging into her chest to tear out this chunk of salt that you embedded into her. rage fills her voice as she screams into the night. This doesn't affect you currently, Maverick, but you can feel anger rising and rising and rising as you dash quickly up the stairs. You remember where the next clock is, and you rush over to it. And what do?
Repeat.
You do your, pull out the thing and then mess with the time?
Yeah.
All right, you relatively slowly mess with the time, and as you do...
What do you mean relatively slowly?
Well, I mean, you're like...
Yeah, open the door.
You're pulling off a door then, moving hands, so... it's weirdly dainty from Maverick, but she doesn't see this, so...
I guess I don't want to break off the hand, right?
I can't tell you that.
I probably don't want to. All right, fine. Daintily. I am dainty.
All right, dainty
Just
man.
shoot them.
She dashes upstairs, almost bouncing off each wall. She turns the corner, and you see her eyes slowly begin to reflate and fill the void that was its left socket. And the smile is less friendly now. She looks hungry. She looks very angry, Maverick. And she begins to dash towards you.
Holy.
Okay. Once again, roll it up, buddy.
Act under pressure.
Indeed.
I will,
You do
wait,
have
I get
plus-
an ongoing, right?
That's
Plus
a 6. Mm-hmm.
I will go ahead and bottle up 1 for
Okay.
success. Why is there...
Hmm.
Usually it gives me an option to hold. I should be able to keep track of that.
Do you mean for the ongoing?
No, for bottle up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I can take a bonus.
Yeah, that is quite strange that it's not necessarily where it should be. We will say a success, but barely. She does dash towards you. Unfortunately, she gets a little too close, and she shoves both of her claws into your chest, and you can feel her squeezing your heart as her long, bony fingers wrap around it, and she squeezes and squeezes. And you can
Sure.
feel yourself,
Can I punch her?
You punch her off you. Strangely enough, your fist actually makes contact. It feels strange and sickly. There's a goo covering your knuckles as you pull your hand away. As she's actually knocked backwards, you ready your shotgun and you blast her again in the chest. Light and energy emitting from the barrel, and she screams again. Go ahead and take 1 point of damage.
Okay. Next clock.
She seems slowed, almost floating in place. She's hovering backwards, and you see that you've actually stunned her for a moment with that blast. The rest of the clocks, I believe, there was 2 upstairs and then 4 downstairs. So we'll say
one
you...
in the fireplace, one in
Yeah.
the other room, I think. Ritual
Yes.
room, was it?
So we'll say you did the back ritual room first, and then you're rushing now over to the fireplace upstairs. And you're able to set that one. And you quickly fix the hands on this one. And as you do,
Go back downstairs.
you head back downstairs and you see her body still floating there. This shot was incredibly effective, and she is slowly regaining consciousness. You actually notice that her physical form has faded ever so slightly as she kind of quickly turns and her neck snaps. You can hear bone grinding on bone as she's slowly reconstituting herself, and she looks to you, Maverick, smiling as if a prey word was her meal. She's losing composure, and you can tell she's
Next
hungry
clock.
now.
That's
She is-
4 done.
Indeed, barring the way. You have the one in the study done, the one in the entrance done, 2 done up top. There's 1 in the kitchen and 1 in the dining room.
So what's left? Living room and dining room?
The kitchen and the dining room.
Last shotgun blessed shell.
If I last one in her now?
Yeah.
All right, roll again, my friend.
Act under pressure.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
And it's a 9
Mm-hmm. That would
for the
indeed-
ongoing.
Yep. That's indeed a 9. So that is a success. As you blast again, she is struck, and before she's able to fully dive in and strike at you, you blast her away, and she effectively phases through a wall. You think she's landed into one of the back rooms. You're not entirely sure, but something has indeed happened, and for now, she's gone. You haven't seen this before, so whatever that last shot was incredibly damaging.
Works for me. Quickly go to the other clocks.
You quickly vault forward, and as you do, give me 1 second. Do you head to the kitchen first, or do you head to the dining room first?
Is this layout accurate? Which one's right by the stairs?
The living dining room, I think.
By the stairs would be at the bottom of the stairs. You would be closer to the dining room. It depends on where you jumped off from.
And
ran
then
down
the
from.
study's downstairs?
Yeah, studies downstairs.
I'll do kitchen first.
So you rush over to the kitchen, and as you do, you descend stairs. You feel somewhat off, though. You feel her presence surrounding you. You know she's not physically here, but she's in the house. She is the house. She's everywhere. You can almost feel as you run your hand along the banister to sort of keep your balance. Your head is spinning and swirling with pain. Kaiba, you begin to also lose focus, but you're able to hold firm. You can feel her pushing and grinding and trying to grate her way into this room, but as of current is unable to do so. You feel almost dizzy. You almost fall, Maverick. It takes you longer than you think. You maybe black out for a moment, but you arrive in the kitchen all the same. You don't remember walking into the room. You remember descending the stairs, just being in the kitchen, but you are indeed here. You see the clock across the room.
Fix it?
All right. Waiting for your touch, you dash over to the clock, and you do indeed rip off the paneling, shoving your hands in and quickly turning the hands incorrectly, wrong, and fixing things. There is a click as you realize you have one left remaining.
To the living room.
You dash over to the living room, almost losing yourself again. The entire room is beginning to swirl and change and attempting to stop you. But it's unable to do so, Maverick, as you push forward, relying on your vigorous training. And as you reach the dining room, you see someone standing in the room, waiting. You see Miss Rose Chang. And she's shrouded in darkness, and she's waiting and looking at you. And she sort of smiles and waves to you, Maverick. Says, "Hello."
Is it a friendly smile or a creepy smile?
It's friendly.
Miss Chang? I will disregard her and still fix the clock.
She sort of dashes in front of the clock to stop you and puts her hand on your chest and says, There, no need to rush about. What, you can't say hello to a neighbor?
How did you get in here?
The door was open. I just walked on in. What are y'all doing?
I'll push her aside and go to the clock anyway.
You attempt
Did
to
I
push her
hear
away, but
Did I hear him yell, Miss Chang?
did you shout or did you just say it?
Yeah, I would have said it loudly.
You do hear that enough, and it almost breaks your concentration, Kaiba, for a moment, but you're able to indeed hold on. Do you react to this in any way?
Guess I'll go. There's no way she could have gotten in, is his train of thought. So you probably yell back, "It can't be her. It's
You
not
ac-
her."
You actually glance over, and you see that the door is swung open, Maverick. And you try to push Rose, and you're unable to do so. She feels firm and heavier, far heavier than any person should be.
I want to punch her in her solar plexus to knock her out without hurting her.
Okay. She offers no resistance as you strike her in the stomach, and she hunches over a bit, and as she looks up, she says,
Oh, sweetheart, why would you do a thing like that?
That is not a normal reaction, ma'am.
She smiles and places her hands on your shoulders and begins to squeeze and goes,
So strong you are.
I thought I told you to stay out of the front lawn, woman!
Is this your version of foreplay, big boy?
She reaches one hand down as she continues to feel along your bicep with her right hand.
I am half into this and half very not. I'm gonna shove her aside, pull out my gun, and shoot the clock.
As you quickly, you're actually able to sort of move her off to the side. She places another hand on your right shoulder this time, not really moving you too far out of the way. She kind of tries to shake you a bit, but you are a trained individual, and you're able to
My rigorous training comes in handy.
you're able to blast the clock. And when you do so, you hear another click, signifying that you have indeed done what you set to do. Unfortunately,
Thank God. I was worried that wouldn't work.
behind you, as you moves Miss Rose, you feel something sharp jab into your neck, somewhere between your armor. She was able to sneak a knife, a kitchen knife, as she digs it into your shoulder, and she pushes it deeper and deeper and says,
Oh, come now, Big Red. You're just so beautiful. Let's spread it all over.
as she begins to...
Cry out.
She's,
Ow!
she's like wiggling the knife into your shoulder and like rubbing the blood down your arm.
All right. And now I punch her for real.
All right. You turn and you punch Rose directly in the face, and you can tell as you turn and look at her that she is possessed in the same way that the other individual was. So you sock her one, and she kind of pauses for a moment. You hear something potentially break.
Yeah. Sorry, pretty lady.
The knife is wedged into your shoulder, and blood is being to seep down.
It isn't near like any potential vital organs, is it?
No vital organs, but she did sneak it into your shoulder. It's stuck relatively deep. Go ahead and add 2 harm for that. Past your armor.
Oh dear. That doesn't make any sense. One little stab to the shoulder and I'm suddenly like halfway dead.
Right here.
mean,
Right here.
it's quite the
She literally shoved it
place.
into your neck right there, straight down.
All right. Well, I don't think I want to touch it. Is that something my rigorous training would tell me to touch or leave alone?
If you're given a
Next
second,
to an artery, probably not.
it's in a very dangerous location. You do know that. Keeping it in there would make it a little hard to move around. But in general, if you were to take it out and quickly, dress the wound, it would take a minute, which you might not have, but you could very, very quickly dress the wound. You'd still be unstable. You'd still be bleeding, but you wouldn't instantly bleed out and die. That makes any sense.
All right. Well, I think I'll
Okay.
leave it. I
You
check.
will try by yelling, did you get all the clocks?
Yeah. I shot back, and I'll run up this. I'll run up to the study. I'll run to the study.
As you begin to dash
Pull the lever, Kronk.
towards the study, you can hear actually Rose crawling along the floor behind you.
Oh, come back, big boy. I'm not done with you.
And as she does, you see Zenobia descending the stairs, looking very angry.
Ignore them both.
You can tell she's somewhat stunned. Your holy blasts were enough to hold her still and stun her
I wish I had that last shotgun cell.
for enough time. She descends the stairs, and you see, as you turn around, that she pushes through this strange gelatinous barrier that Kaiba set up. And fortunately, it is indeed slowing her quite a bit. Rose, whatever the hell you did to her, she is effectively dragging her body across the floor. Both hands, you can hear some of her nails actually breaking as she's dragging her entire body weight forward slowly.
Stop.
You're able to make it to the study, though. You hear Kaiba still chanting, attempting to hold this spell. And as you pass into the threshold, you see Zenobia push up against the door. Both the salt and the spell you cast, Kaiba, is preventing her from coming in.
Is the door open?
It is not, but the book is still in place.
I will touch the book.
You quickly run in, Maverick. Knowing the trap is there, you position yourself accordingly. You pull the book. You hear the clicks, clicks. Then you hear 6 more clicks, quickly followed. And after that, you hear silence for a moment. And then, doors begin to slide open. The secret passage is revealed to you.
I barge down.
You begin to descend down the stair set.
Kaiba, it's open.
I will shuffle backwards slowly.
Zenobia sees you doing this, and she effectively, like, bestially almost licks at whatever this barrier is and starts, like, you can see her nails pushing past and into, like, whatever it is, and she looks hungry. She looks animalistic now.
Is there a way to close the door? Once we're in?
Close
Probably
the
not.
the study?
Well, close the secret room.
Yeah, the secret room. From what you saw, looking into the past, it closed on its own.
Right, so I guess I'll jump in and stop the casting and just run.
All right. As you do that, she shoots forward like a bullet, firing directly at you, but the study closes in time. And as it does, again, silence. The clocks do not cease their ticking, but you can no longer hear them.
I assume it's dark, right?
Very dark.
I immediately pull
pull
out my
out
flashlight
mine.
and turn it on.
I will pull out my trusty torch. My
Alright.
my hand.
Pull out your
My glowing
hand.
hand, my magical hand,
Indeed.
my hand of hindsight.
And as you begin to slowly descend the steps, you hear dripping and just a general droning. Thinking back, Kaiba, these steps lead forward, which doesn't really make sense. The house layout. If this is exactly where it is, how long he has been
Should it
walking?
be under the area that was weird in the grass?
It is, but it's almost going into what would be the basement of your neighbor,
Oh,
Which neighbor?
Serena.
which direction?
Serena. Okay.
Yes. But as I said, this almost defies logic, as if you would have seen something. There would have been something outside. You almost are walking, you feel somewhere else, somewhere different. A separate dimension, here but not.
Yeah.
All the same, you continue walking forward. About 60 seconds of descending these somewhat too narrow steps. They are cut and jagged. You need to be somewhat careful going down them. But take them one by one. And as you reach the bottom, you are greeted with what seems to be her room, a hidden chamber. Looking about, you see a bed, you see various painting, photos of Zenobia Belair's. The hand. One. Fires up blue in the presence of secret doors, buried treasure, and it reveals any invisible creatures or items. These stalker boys reveal themselves to you.
Yeah, but there was a third one, right?
Okay. The third ability. So the first ability is any locked door, gate, portal, safe is open. Any hostile person that sees it is paralyzed.
Ah, right, that was it.
Heading
I don't
down,
think we need it just yet, but
you can see various photos of Zenobia Belair's throughout her life. They are
Is her life like extra unnaturally long, or is it normal human sized?
difficult to tell at first, but she seems
Because I'm secretly suspicious she might be the witch.
looking through that, I will say she is not the witch. She's not that old.
Okay.
Yes,
I think
But-
she would be a bit more powerful if that was the case.
very much so.
That
Yes,
is a very good point.
she would be immensely powerful. In this state, maybe she is attempting to mimic that power. Fortunately, you will aim here to interrupt it. And as you move about, you are greeted with a underground stone room. There's a bed, banisters, there's various places for keeping clothes, there's a table for eating. It's very militant and basic. Nothing is nice down here. The wood is not of the same quality. The carvings and such look as if they are here just to be here, and care not for it look. You see various pentagrams and inscriptions on the walls, scratched in with a knife or something sharp. Next to the bed, as I mentioned, you see various photos of Zenobia. And yes, her life is somewhat longer, but not the witch, fortunately. She's retained this age for far too long, I will say. You see her maybe back, we'll say back in the 80s or so. She looked the same. As in the 90s, 2000s, and then now. She should probably look 80, 90. But she does not. There are no pictures prior to that. Not sure if it's because maybe she begun documenting it then, or, well, they don't exist, who knows. As you look around, you can see that she probably didn't stay here. This room is strange. It gives you a very uncomfortable feeling. As you begin to look around, you can see in the center, there's a grate. You see various channels around the room that lead to the center of this grate. And you see next to,
Like blood channels?
potentially, or liquids, such. You see over to the side, next to this bed, there is something where you dig back into your memory for a moment. Recognition. There's a square metal plate with 4 other large bolts drilled into the floor. So it's very similar to the same shape you saw in the attic. And connected to this metal square is a chain. At the end of the chain, you see shackles. Shackles that will allow whoever's attached to it to move around the room, but not comfortably, nowhere near long enough. Sleep, eat. Essentially,
Is there body in these shackles?
there's no body. But looking at the shackles, you see caked on blood, potentially old flesh, something.
AKA the people who went out never came back out. Who went in and never came back out.
You get the feeling that's the case as you begin to look back. This room leads into another room, further in. And in this next room, you see a much more elaborate ordeal. This is most likely where she committed her crimes. You see candles, skulls, a large table in the center, tarp. You see there's no body on this table, but you get the feeling you know exactly what's for. There are various pillars. These pillars have inscriptions on them, more pentagrams. You see in the corner, pushed off the side, this room is rather large, it's maybe 30, 40-ish. You see a body sitting in a rocking chair. You saw the same rocking chair in some of the photos of Zenobia. And looking around, you see a desk. There are candles. As I mentioned before, there's a rather large mirror, cult papers. You see a shrunken head, very stuffed animals, baboon, small critters, cat, dog, things of that nature.
Is Zenobia's body missing a hand?
It is not. Not in the images or anything. You get the feeling that she got this from someone. She took it from someone. She made it with one of her victims.
Ugh, that's somehow worse.
Looking around this room, you can see the tools she probably would have used to do that. By no means does she attempt to hide her tools of torture. Her methods for draining the victims of their blood, their fat to make these candles. You see a rack in which she most likely held this current hand of glory that you are in possession of.
So we came here to destroy the body, right?
Look for the book.
I will look for the book.
Looking around, there are various veils and such hanging from the ceilings. And behind you, you hear scratching about this room. Nails dragging against stone. And echoing laughter dances down the hall, closer and closer. And as it does, you push some of these veils out of the way. Mocking laughter, maybe aware of it. And you see her corpse. This is very clearly her. Same dress, same hair. She's holding the book, actually, kind of to get closer, sitting in her rocking chair. There's also various, I'll say, things covered in tarps in this room. You hear,
Why do I feel like the corpse is gonna move if I touch the book?
as you get closer, you hear more ticking and chiming.
This clock's down here too?
There's a clock down here. It's unnaturally loud compared to the others.
Is
It's
it under a tarp?
difficult to tell where it's coming from. You get the feeling it's most likely hidden currently.
I will pull off all the tarps
As you begin to touch the tarps,
very quickly. I'm not being careful.
you feel your heart stop for a moment as you see waiting in the doorway Zenobia looking at both of you. Very, very angry that you've come this far.
Of course.
This is taking too long. I'm gonna light the torch. The hand.
All right?
To
Roll it up.
find the book, or the find whatever the hell is magical here.
Sure, roll it up, my friend.
Weird, was it right?
That's weird.
Here I go. Going to be a net one. Oh no.
Considering Maverick is tearing off the
Yeah, I don't think I
the
can help with
tarps,
that.
would you be available for helping with that, or
Help me,
What
Superman.
exactly? How can I help with it?
you would need to help him focus magics into it? I will say there's no downside to whiffing; it just doesn't do anything.
I'll see that he's lighting it, and I'll go ahead and help.
Okay. You stop yourself about midway as it's not difficult to light, but you do need to put some force into it, Maverick.
I
And
need some light to help me light my light.
precisely. There are no lights in this room. Seeing you light her hand of glory, she dashes at you, Kaiba, as maybe it takes you a little too long, and she rakes her claws across you. Go ahead and take 1 harm from that.
Oh, hang on.
Yes.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Can I help someone escape?
No, because you're helping him cast the spell.
God damn it. All right.
It's only 1 harm. It's not going to kill him. He's fine. And you, after she strikes you, you feel her grow even more powerful now. And as she does, she looms over the two of you in this small room. You see that there is indeed no escape, and you'll have to act quickly. Which effect were you going for, Kaiba?
The blue light of revealing.
What precisely are you looking for?
The clock or a phylactery, I guess.
Okay.
Not
As you
sure
begin to...
how generic I need to be.
Sure. As you begin to move the clock around quickly, again, her rage fills the room. And you light over to her corpse. And it lights and glows dimly, but not as strong as you were expecting. There is something hidden here, but not necessarily maybe what you're looking for. It might just be her body. But she is indeed clutching the book, the very same book you've seen multiple times in your visions. Quickly dashing about and assisting Maverick, attempting to look and look and look under what might be hidden. You hear a very loud boom, boom. The bonging of this clock is immense. It is not as, we'll say, maddening as the other. But as you pull forth another one of the tarps, you reveal a very, very large, ornate clock, unlike anything you've seen before. And the candle flicks to life very, very brightly this time, dancing, and the flame is almost drawn to this item. It's a large clock that looks enchanted in some way, shape, or form. There are various images of the Witch of Endor carved into it. There's a specter of Samuel, Doom, King, Saul, also carved into its woodwork. It ticks and ticks, as I mentioned, almost unnaturally loud. You get the feeling that if you listen to it for too long, you would begin to almost lose your mind. As it ticks, you notice it's actually not ticking every second. There's something off about it. Both Kaiba and Maverick, you wouldn't notice this immediately, but it's ticking along with your heartbeat. And it slowly speeds up over time as you realize what this item is.
Is it her heartbeat?
Sure sounds like it.
You're not entirely sure.
Well, I
But-
forgot my sledgehammer downstairs. Damn it.
You have a shotgun.
You do have a shotgun with regular
Oh,
bullets.
that's true. I'll whip out my shotgun.
Seeing the clock expose, the witch is enraged. She begins to just scream in fury, just starts like scraping at the sky. She's not even scratching at you guys. She just loses it. You see spectral arms burst forth from her. Her hair shoots back in rage. Her face, skin, everything just decaying rapidly as she no longer is necessarily going to dedicate her power to looking beautiful. She just wants to kill. She just wants to feed, stop you from doing what you're doing. Kaiba and Maverick, you believe you found her phylactery.
I shoot it.
With?
My magnum.
Okay. You start unloading with your magnum, and Maverick?
Shotgun.
All right. As you do this, I'll ask you both to act under pressure as she dives towards the two of you. Perfect. Oh, double perfect. Hell yes. Okay. The two of you actually dive out of the way. I'll go ahead and let you tell me what you do. She's attempting to attack both of you individually, but you will dodge the attack. Kaiba, how do you do this?
I'll roll out of the way and do like the cool roll shoot.
Hell yeah. Maverick?
As I'm rolling, I empty the entire clip.
Nice.
I'm gonna do the same in the opposite direction.
All right, you guys, perfect. You guys both roll in opposite directions, causing her to have to travel further and further. I will say her rage is increased, so each of you will take just 1 damage from this
Through my armor?
through armor. Yeah.
You killing me, Hub?
I mean that's what she's trying to do. Yes, it's only 1. In her current state, she is she getting nasty. And as you begin to unload, and she gets closer and closer, the chiming stops for a moment. And as it does, you actually feel your hearts stop for a moment. All 3 of you pause as the loud boom, boom, boom stops. Everything silent. You cannot breathe. You cannot think. You know you've done something. Is it right? Is it wrong? Should we have destroyed this? And you feel somewhat of a withering behind you as your hearts begin to beat again. This time to their own rhythm, no longer held captive by the clock. And turning, you can see something about Zenobia has changed. She's weaker. Something has happened. Something broke. She's no longer linked to this clock. She's on her own now.
Is she dying?
You see her aging rapidly. You get the feeling she will not die on her own, but panic dances across her eyes. For once, the playful smile leaves her lips.
Does she perchance look at the body of herself, or
She looks back to her body, almost in panic, looks to her current self and sees that she is decaying. Has moments to live? Longer? She's not entirely sure. This is new grounds for her. You finally see her. Her mind is racked. She isn't sure what to do. Kaiba, Maverick, how do you guys respond to this?
can I shoot
Is
the
the
corpse?
chain nearby?
The chain or the
chain
shackles?
that she used for the shackles. Yeah,
That's in the other room.
that's the other room.
Yeah, it's
bad.
definitely far. Yeah, it was maybe like 3 feet long.
Well, I emptied
Uncomfortably
my
short.
entire clip, so I can't shoot it now.
Well, you definitely have extra bullets.
Or
Yeah,
I
but I
do.
would need to reload, and I want to use my sword, so I'm just gonna use my sword.
You also have your
I
weapon, yeah.
guess.
Okay. In her stunned
I
state.
will stab her in her back with my silver sword.
All right. She slides towards her body. I want to ask you to roll for this, Kaiba, as she's currently not occupied with you. You slide your sword through her spine and out to the front of her body. She starts to grab at it, and
I want to hit both her and her corpse.
you push forward. She's attempting to resist and stop. She doesn't want to go forward. She doesn't want you to stab through her and the body at the same time. You actually feel her slash back at you, Kaiba, her bones and body breaking as she's attempting to stop you, and her claws rake through you and against you, almost as if she's scratching against your bones and attempting to tear out your marrow. Take 1 more harm, Kaiba. Maverick, as you see this, what do you do? Kaiba
Can I?
has her shish kebab slowly pushing her towards her
Do
corpse.
I get the feeling that she's trying to protect her corpse?
Oh yeah, she's freaking out.
Yeah, go for the corpse.
Okay, he's too close to use my shotgun, right?
Yes. Basically, it looks like this. You are here, Kaiba's here, she's here, and the corpse is where the fireplace is, basically, and you're on the side.
I'm also holding her down. You can run around
Yeah.
me, probably.
So basically, the sword is through her, and they're both still standing. She's like trying to like float backwards and push backwards. But the sword is pointing horizontally towards the body.
Okay, can I dart around and use magic to do one thing that is beyond human limits to punch the shit out of the body?
Go for it.
I failed.
You did indeed fail. That is unfortunate. As you dash around, Maverick, you attempt to beat the body, but first you attempt to empower yourself with magic. Zenomi is scared for a moment, so she begins to scream. There's no words. It's just noises. And unfortunately, she distracts you in doing so, and your incantation falls short. And
Still punch the body anyway.
you do indeed begin to punch the body, and she's freaking out. It is crumbling and falling to pieces, but not necessarily entirely breaking down. There's
Not as fast as I wanted it.
not as fast as you want to, unfortunately. There's indeed some resistance. She starts to reach out to you, Maverick, but Kaiba's pulling away. Unfortunately, this magic has gone wrong, Maverick. And while you're not currently attacked by it, something begins to break in this room. You begin to feel it shudder and shake. You hear a gurgling and a bubbling.
Ugh.
It's
Punch
thick.
faster.
It's thick, like globules of something you don't want to see or know about. But it's growing closer and closer to our current location. You've angered or woke something. Kaiba?
I'm going to pull out my other sword and throw it at the corpse.
All right. Maverick moving off to the side slightly. Kaiba, you shish kebab both her and her corpse. And as you do, she turns to you. And as she does, she doesn't realize that she's actually cut herself in half. Her body is falling apart. Maverick, you use the sword that Kaiba threw to you to finish off this body in any way you can. Just quickly, just
the heart.
yeah,
the
just
organs.
quickly dispatching it. You might accidentally damage the book in the time, but you don't completely destroy it. Maybe a few nicks, but it's made of tougher things than that, and it is safe for now. She looks you directly in the eyes, Kaiba. You see fear. You see hate, loathing, sadness, and she fades. And you know she is gone.
Is the book still in the corpse's hand, or is it somewhere else?
The book has fallen floor.
Can I pick it up and run out?
As you pick up the book, Maverick, you see that something dark and sticky is covering the floor now. And, unfortunately, that dark and sticky substance has covered the backside of the book, and it's a dark, dark red. And as you pick the book up, it slimes off. It's sticky and thick. You hear
It's
the
like iron.
yes, rotten, putrid. It assaults your senses.
Well, it's not coming from the book, is it?
No, partially, but it's coming from the floor. As you look, you can now see that the room is slowly filling up with the same liquid. You hear a deep gurgling and bubbling coming from the other room.
I mean, I'm still gonna pick up the book because it needs to be properly destroyed.
You have it?
And then I want to run.
All right,
It's time to get out of here.
Kaiba?
I guess I gotta do this. Let's hope I don't fuck it up.
Alrighty.
Oh, and I can read a bad situation too.
This is a horrible situation. Yes, you can.
Actually, that's true. You can read your bad situations. It's fine.
Did you mark experience twice, by the way, Maverick?
Oh, what do you mean twice?
Well, you failed your magic.
Yeah.
Okay, you marked that one.
And then I failed this,
Okay,
so I can now level up.
indeed. Go ahead and hold on to that. Looking around, Maverick, you can tell that you definitely want to get out of here post-haste, but you're not entirely sure where to head. You're pretty sure it's back up and then through, but maybe there's something in this room that you need? Looking around, you maybe think that the threat's coming from this room. It's difficult to tell. You pause for longer than is necessary. And then Kaiba, are you using that move?
Yep.
All right, hold it up, buddy. Woo,
Oh,
spicy.
God.
Alrighty. You can ask me 2 questions. Which ones are you gonna pick?
Well, I can't ask the first one really because I don't know what the hell this is. I think. I mean, is this related to the monster we've been fighting, or is this something else?
This is something else.
Right.
You
so
can
the
tell that
first
she
one.
is gone and something bad happened.
All right. Do I know any black magic that can help me out of this situation?
You do indeed know something. It is black. It is frowned upon, but you're not sure you have the time to benefit from it. You're not really sure what's happening because you can't see into the other room. But something horrible is indeed happening in there. Maverick was unable to see it, so he can't assist you there. But you sense life energy all around you, but it's rotten and fetid. You could potentially tap into this, but you're not sure if you would want to, either on moral implications or if you have the time to do so, as there is a lot going on and it's bubbling up very quickly. It's almost come up to your ankles by this point.
Well, I'll probably run the hell away then.
Are you begin legging?
Yes.
All
I
right.
follow. I
Follow Maverick? Okay, perfect. All right, I'm going to ask both of you to act under pressure on this one. As you turn the corner, you see a very large mound pushing forth from the grate in the ground. It is dark red, and it's swirling and swirling. As it turns to you, you see various bits and bobs floating in it. You see parts. You see thick globules pushing forth. It's almost as if something sentient has been brought back. Something dark.
Use magic to exercise it.
What? You gonna do what?
Really.
Can I use magic to exercise it?
You may attempt to do so, but in this circumstance, looking
I-
around,
Identify it.
yes, this is. I'll say it plainly. It's essentially an elemental of hatred. All the people that suffer
Yes.
here, all the pain, all the blood, shit, sweat, tears, has culminated into this beast. And unfortunately, Maverick's magical mishap has reanimated it and brought all their hatred forward.
But we killed the thing.
You did, and this is something
Yes,
else.
and all its victims are now mad.
Correct. It's not directed at you, Maverick or Kaiba. It's just angry. It wants to kill, and it wants to feel satisfaction
Well, I
after
mean,
all the pains
we-
experienced.
We killed the reason that it suffered.
Correct.
Yes,
Can-
but
can-
it doesn't know that.
It doesn't
is
know
mindless.
that. It is mindless. It is pure rage incarnate.
Can we point it to the body?
I'm going to
Potentially.
say it probably can't go outside. Run.
I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Keep running. Run
That's what I'm
faster.
doing.
Alrighty.
You get
As
a +1 to run.
As you run forward, Kaiba, you make it out unscathed as you see bladed tentacles and whips and such shoot
Wait, do
forward
we-
from this thing. You don't know if they're aimed or
Rose still on the way,
Hmm?
or
is what?
is Rose still somewhere in her house?
Yeah, where I'm gonna go get her.
Upstairs, most likely, yes.
She's first thing on my mind.
Maverick, though, you rolled just short of a success, of a full success, and because of that, the creature will indeed strike you. It's only 2 damage, and you have 2 armor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so fortunately, you are safe. It hits you in the back, in fact, propelling you forward, but it leaves a sticky, dark mess on your armor. It almost feels like it's attempting to burn through you, but you think you're fine. You should be safe. You have to pull your feet as it's filling the room and filling the room as you begin to ascend the stairs. You almost lose your shoes behind you. But that's not important. You run up and run up and run up, and you can hear the room filling and the bubbling and screams
guess-
from another time, another
I guess it'll
place.
find her body soon. So.
Most likely, yeah. You can hear whatever this is begin to fill the hallway behind you. As you dash forward and dash forward and dash forward, it begins to pour upward. And as it does, you can actually see a light at the end. It's a faint light, but all the same, it is there. And you can see that, for whatever reason, the secret entrance has opened. Something happened, I'm not sure if it's part of the incantation or something else, but you dash forward, and you jump forward into light, and
I will start calling out Rose.
You're
Rose.
you're back in the
Rose?
study. And as you enter the study, you hear a moaning in the distance, as of someone's in pain.
I will go to it.
You see Rose in the entryway.
Is the door closing behind us? Or?
You turn, and it's almost like it never opened. Almost as if you phased through from that area into this one.
Let's hope it can't get out of there.
Well, we'll find out soon enough.
You
I
see Miss
believe we should at least
Rose,
get out of the house.
her back against the wall, and she's breathing heavily. There's a bruise on her face, and she's looking at her hands, and you see her fingers are covered in blood. Some of her nails were scratched off entirely.
Can I pass the book to Kaiba real quick?
Can.
And then I'll scoop up
I'll hold the door
Rose.
open.
in a princess pose.
Yeah, her head sort of like lolls. She is both in pain and shock, but she
Yeah.
is fine.
Out the house we go.
Out the house you go.
I go out the house and I make sure to lock it. before I walk
Yes,
away.
please.
One thing you notice upon exiting the house is you pause for a moment before taking that final step. But the clocks stopped. All of them.
Oh.
Oh, thank God.
And you head outside.
Air, fresh air.
Indeed.
All right. Well, I had to go to the hospital because I was at 6 of 7.
Yes, Maverick, I will ask you now to tend to your wounds or take one more harm.
Oh yes. Can I do first aid on myself?
You can.
Can I help him with that?
You might have to.
If he fails, yes.
Actually,
All
can
right.
I help him with that and give him often right bonus?
Is that well, at 7 it's not going to be enough. You need plus 3 on top of that.
Yeah. Heal 2 harm or stabilize the injury.
You're going to want to stabilize because that will continue to bleed.
So how do I mark that on the sheet?
There should be a stable or unstable marker.
Yeah,
I believe.
just remove that, I guess.
Yeah, just take that off. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically on your HP, you're currently unstable. Well, you were unstable. So yes, you're very close to dying. Any more harm and you explode. So don't take any more harm.
Yes, please. Don't
But you're
do
no
any more
longer
harm.
bleeding out. We'll say that you were able to dress the wound and remove the knife from your shoulder. And while it hurt, you are mostly fine.
Kaiba thinks he should add an infirmary to his haven.
Might be a good idea.
And you look about Maverick and Kaiba. Rose is mostly passed out. She hasn't said anything. Her head's lolling and she's sort of muttering to herself. Mostly looking at her hands and the rest of her body covered in salt and dirt and blood. But you look up and you see the stars. You see the night sky. You hear the chirping of birds, night critters and bugs, and it's reassuring. It's nice. You can tell things are back to normal. That foreboding aura no longer permeates this block, this house, this area.
Thank God. So about that revenge creator.
Mm-hmm.
You feel it erupting through the floor, or does it feel contained?
Possibly contained. It's no longer. You don't feel any shaking. You don't feel or
Probably
hear
keep an eye on it for now.
any screaming or anything. But to your knowledge,
Well, I'm gonna.
it
call
should
the
be contained to that.
I'm gonna call the agency, tell them that the job's done, but there might be something new there.
Okay. You receive a somewhat worried response, but as long as the job is done and this new entity is not worse than the first, then
I dare say I have now earned the miss that I got earlier.
yes, you get someone better this time. We'll say.
Thank God. All right, so I'm gonna take all of us to the hospital.
Okay.
Definitely the one Margot's at, so that we can say hello.
Excellent. So cool. We'll say you guys swing by the hospital, and Margot's there recovering from fighting a moss monster. Rose, checks in on her own. We'll say the association's able to help you guys. So while the hospital had some questions, there's someone there to basically quickly explain everything. You guys won't need to think of an excuse as
That would be my official pull coming into hand.
yes, y'all just went through hell.
Car crash.
Yeah.
But that's a
Basically.
knife wound. Car crash.
Piece of glass.
I was juggling knives in the car.
That's
Don't
why it
judge me,
crashed.
idiot. Alrighty, and with that, if you're unstable, become stable. Otherwise, for now, just heal 1 each.
Oh my God, I'm not dying.
You're not dying.
I didn't want to use 2 luck in one campaign. That would have sucked balls.
That would have indeed sucked balls.
I haven't used any luck yet.
Hell yeah. Alright, and resting and looking about, you guys know that you've done good. The curse has been cleansed. The witch is gone. Zenobia, whether she deserves it or not, is now, resting or obliterated.
She deserves it. Hopefully
No,
in
she
hell.
went down to hell.
Most
yeah.
likely.
She deserved it.
And then one fun thing we had at the end of the session, Mr. Kaiba, is I ask you guys a series of questions, and then you get experience.
Oh no.
So, they're easy. Did we conclude the current mystery?
Yes.
The current mystery. What was the current mystery technically?
What was creepy about the house?
Find out what was wrong with the house, and fix it. I guess
Mhm.
yes.
All right, so that's a yes. And did we save someone from certain death or worse?
I mean the robber probably yes.
Yeah, and technically Rose.
And the owner,
Potentially Lewis. Well, he
Oh
might
yeah,
have
and the owner
gotten out.
and future owners.
indeed. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
I'm not very good at magic.
That's fair. And did we learn something new and important about one of the hunters?
Something about his reading felt familiar.
Something about his red hair felt familiar.
Alrighty, since we
And
answered
he also has a twin sister apparently.
perfect, memory is sparked. Since we answered 3 or more of those questions, go ahead and mark 2 experience. And let me ask quick, did we mark experience from the end of yesterday's session?
What do you mean?
I think I only failed like once back then. So
Okay, so technically you guys get 3 experience. You get 1 from yesterday, and you get 2 from today.
Oh, we do?
At the end of every sit-down session, basically if you don't finish the mission, you get 1 experience point. If you did finish it, you basically get 2, depending on how well you did. It's a complete shit show and everyone died. You didn't figure anything out, you get nothing, basically. Because you guys succeeded, you get 2. And basically every time you just kind
know
of...
how to level up, right, demons?
I'm not sure if I can level up yet.
Did you get 5?
I think I have 4. I failed twice and I got 2 from this one.
And then
Well,
one
and
from
another
and then
one
one from yesterday.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that should be a level up. You go down to the improvement section and pick one.
And I will say, it's not automatic. So if you pick +1 a charm, you have to manually do that yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, just letting you know, because I think someone clicked it and didn't actually make it go up. I'm like, why is your stat so bad? Oh yeah, I picked this. I'm like, you have to do it though. So fortunately, Roll20 is always active, so you can do this realistically whenever you like. No rush. I don't need to have a Foundry running. I do love Foundry though.
I noticed actually because your brother is apparently still logged in. Does he
He-
just have to tab
he-
open all the time or something?
Apparently
he
he just
must.
never shuts it off. He's always in here. I have no idea why. But I will say, regarding this world and regarding what we do, depending if we like the concept of having Mr. Flamey Head be our boss and basically give us missions and such, we can hammer things out. We can figure out, who does what, blah, 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 work on the character backstories. But the first Wednesday group did this, really enjoyed the system, so I'm going to find another day for us to continue playing. As I mentioned before, this story, this setup works very well because I can just throw things at you guys and y'all can figure it out. We can easily do other, we're a supernatural family that hunts things, which weirdly enough works.
You used my bottle it up, right?
Hmm?
You used my bottle it up, right?
Not in this case, no. I don't think it's not going to jump to the next case though.
All right.
So basically, you're in the clear. Don't worry. You succeeded enough that you weren't ever on the edge of. I guess your medic was, but that would have been a dick to use there. Yeah.
That would have killed me, by the way.
Yeah, I'm about to say, if I use it there,
if
that's
I
just
miss,
mean.
then I take an extra harm.
Yeah, that's just mean. I wouldn't use it there. So yes, basically, I have a lot of the book Tome of Mysteries, which is fantastic, by the way. Has like 50 mysteries in it, which is crazy. I can use all, if not, most of them. And on top of that, I have a whole bunch of shit that I've written. And it's not fully fleshed out, but a lot of really, really cool concepts. So I'm very excited to use those eventually. Basically, once we find a day where we want to play this, I'm thinking possibly Saturday, like after we finish Overarms, we can delve into this world and playing it more. Did the system make sense?
Yeah, it definitely seems like a system that's more fun with more people now.
Yes, I will say 3 people is the best, I think. 4 is a little weird, and 5 would be not unplayable, but like way too much. 4 is a little awkward with interviewing people because you kind of get that weird, like with you guys, it's like, oh, I'm gonna talk to her, and then you're fine. With 4 people, let's say the 2 people are talking to her, it's usually just Maverick asking questions and you kind of pitch in, but the other 2 people will.
There's always someone there to help out.
Yeah, it's just so 3 people is like.
I think 4 is more awkward during combat.
4 is very awkward during combat. It's like I kind of have to make initiative, even though there isn't, just to make sure not someone's going 3 times in a row, but to make sure that everyone's getting to say something. It can just be a little messy, is maybe the wrong word, but a little awkward. It's only weird during combat in interviews though, but it does work great. Basically, when we play this more, depending on, I think 4 is the highest I'd want to go. I wouldn't do 5. That's honestly too much. That, and it kind of kills it being a horror trope. If there's 5 people investigating something, I'd have to constantly be splitting you guys up. But were we to do that, we basically need everyone to understand that, because there's no turns. Like, it's not your turn, so wait a moment to allow someone else to say something. That way no one feels left out. Because this system is self-regulated, basically. So I can ask, Kaiba, what do you want to do? Or Maverick, what do you want to do? But naturally, you can be like, oh, he did this, I want to do this. Oh, he did this, I want to do this. Literally anything is up there. And the more she's messed with Margot, the crazier she's realized she can kind of make that build for the character. That, and your long-term damage, long-term luck, all those things matter way more. So, like, with damage, if there's a case tomorrow, you heal for 1, meaning Maverick will start at 5. That's brutal. Meaning, probably don't play Maverick next time, right?
Yeah.
Put Maverick in a pocket. Kaiba, though, could do the next case, because he'd be at 2 harm. Not that big of a deal. But your health does transfer over to the next case. If you have multiple days to rest, you heal fully. If you have 1 or 2 days to rest, you just heal like 1 per day, basically. So HP can be relatively brutal, and there's no saving throws. If you hit 7, you're just instantly dead. So it's pretty brutal.
I'm wondering what I should pick for my Haven.
Well, realistically, you're allowed to. So if you want to look through it, and you're like,
there's a lot of fun options.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like, she had a ton of fun picking through some things, and after this session, if you want to go back and retinker stuff, hey, how do you pronounce that? Oubliette?
Oubliette.
Yeah, oubliette.
Rooms isolated from every kind of monster, spirit, or magic that you know about. Anything you stash in there can't be found. Can't do magic. Can't get out. Very
Basically,
cool. I
it's
like
a
that.
Magic cell.
Yeah.
Cage.
Nice. I like that. But there's a ton of really
I don't see a lot of like use for it, but at the same time, it's really cool.
Yeah. So every case can be different. For example, there could be a case where there's a witch and she has cult members, and you could capture one of the cult members and then interrogate them basically. Or there could be like basically take this case, and rather than there being like traps or something, she would have people working under her, and that would add more monsters to the mix, obviously. And you can do that with lots of things. Like maybe there's a trio of like spellcasters, or there's a trio of demons or something. You can capture one of them and maybe poke the shit out of him until he says where the other 2 are. But usually when there's one creature, that's less useful, but that's the fun thing. Every case should be drastically different. First one was worms. The second one was a demonic CD. The third one was evil moss, and this one was a witch, a ghost, basically.
No.
So mixing it up from fighting eldritch concepts to fighting actual demons and various gooblies and gobblies in the night, more people get to see different bits of what they can do. I think at her current level, Margot's starting to shine, just because I guess the game's making more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking one of these 2, but I'm not sure.
You can heal people. Have the space for 1 or 2 to recuperate. People will tell you how long recovery is. Very nice. You have a space for building.
Just the healing, considering it's so brutal, is just nice.
Yeah, the healing's
the
super
other one
good.
would help with getting random stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
well, there you go.
the expert's incredibly useful. Especially when you have a big group and a lot of people are taking damage and doing certain things. But one of the major things on this game is, depending on our initial concept, so if whether we're doing an SCP type organization, you work for them and you're not the Class D citizen, you're actually going out in the field and doing stuff. That makes things much easier, because I can say, yes, you have guns, you have armor, you have what you need. But if you guys are on your own, and it's more of a Buffy situation where you just have Giles, which would be Kaiba in the situation, and then everyone to help, that makes things way harder, but it makes Kaiba way more useful, because otherwise where do you get your stuff from? There's no organization to pull from. So it makes things way more difficult, but when you have an expert or someone, it makes them feel like they matter more to the team. So basically, depending on how we decide to do things going forward, if you guys want to be on your own, it's perfectly fine. If you want to work for the organization, that's fine. And my prior example, so let's say Maverick's like, ow, I am dying. Then, he could be like, okay, Maverick's going to sit out this case, and then you'll play Margot next week, basically. As long as, new case. And then let's say, Zion can't make it. That's fine. Zion just doesn't show up. Seto can't make it. He just won't show up. That's perfectly fine. We'll just bring, 2 people. and you can just tag out your own characters so they can heal. But the thing is, their luck stays with them. So if you keep burning that, it gets rough. And some of the monsters hit for like 5. So that's some shit you need to worry about. And you'll be using your luck more frequently. Because I think my brother got hit once for 4. I went, okay. And then I hit for 4 again. And he's like, okay. I'm like, what's your harm at? He's like, oh, it's 7. I'm like, you're dead. He's like, what? I'm like, you're dead. He's like, oh, what do I do? I'm like, no, you're dead. You just die. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, you got hit 2 times by a 4 damage creature. It's like, oh, roll back. You can burn luck. You can do things. People can help out. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that was a trial by fire learning experience. It was very interesting. Yeah, definitely good times. We'll go ahead and pause the recording there, and I'll update you guys when we decide to do more in the future. Thanks for joining.